Okay. If I did everything correctly, guys, we should be good to go. What's up? It has been only 6 days since the last time I streamed, but to be fair, guys, work just keeps me way too distracted, and also, I'm still getting used to the new place and whatnot, so, it has been a crazy... Would I say crazy? Nah, it's par for the course. My routine more or less hasn't changed. Just public transportation got a little more expensive, but other than that, I feel at peace, guys. But what's up? Hello, Luna. Hello, Jay. Hello, Swamp Suit. Welcome to the stream. Yes, as a matter of fact, there's a reason I changed the backgrounds. Yep. October is over. Halloween officially passed as of yesterday. I didn't do anything crazy, to be honest, guys. I just went to work and, well, they let me off early because for whatever reason, all the public transportation was going to close early because of Halloween and whatnot, even though, to be honest, as far as this country is concerned, I can't find a single good neighborhood. I can't find a single neighborhood where trick-or-treating is that prominent, to be honest, so I don't know what the heck was the point. But what do I know? Maybe I just don't get around much. I don't know, but it seemed like a ridiculous premise, but hey, I got 2 hours off of work early. I got an hour and a half off of work early, and I still get paid, so what am I complaining? Mudkip jump scare? What's so scary? It's a Mudkip. How could it possibly jump scare you, Luna? Mudkip here, Mudkip there, Mudkip there. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Like, Luna, it's not that deep, bro. Like, anyways. Icy exclamation point. Alright. Hello, Erica. Welcome to the stream. But alright, guys, since we pretty much already covered what was left in my backlog as far as the Loud House is concerned. Because, yeah, we read It's Not Your Fault. We read all of Companionship. We reacted to all of my old videos. What else was there? I think that was it, honestly. And that took what? When did I start streaming? Like late July, and we are in the beginning of November. Nah, Luna, don't apologize. Don't apologize. On Halloween, there was only one stack of kids at our door. That's it. Only one stack? Oh my gosh, man. I'm assuming you're American, Swampsuit, so unfortunately, that doesn't surprise me. Have I caught up with Rama 1 too? I've tried, Jay. I'm only up to like the 3rd episode, and so far my thoughts are, why does Akane hate men? Why is every guy at her school such a creep? And so far, I'm digging the dynamic between her and Ranma. That's all I can really say. So far, it's gotten a couple laughs out of me, but we'll see how it goes, Jay. We'll see how it goes. But so far, I'm enjoying it. I just haven't had a lot of time to catch up on it, to be honest. But yeah, guys, spooky season is officially over. I commemorated the occasion in my own way. As a matter of fact, I kind of want to look back on it. Like, I don't know. It's a really short video, so you know what, to be honest, what have I got to lose? Because keep in mind, guys, this channel is not just TLH. There's like, I like to make content. Basically, my content just hinges on my preference in the grand scheme of things. So, I don't know. But anyways, I kind of want to see how it played out, because I haven't gotten a lot of chances to listen to the playback of this video. Like, I don't know, sometimes the mic pops, I want to think about what I said better. So you know what, let's start with that, shall we? Huh. It's been a while. I wonder what's been going on with Phineas and Ferb lately. I will say this though, I'm really proud of that jump cut. Just me talking nonchalantly and then suddenly... Sure, what the heck, it's Halloween season. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please and thank you. Okay, I'm not crazy, right? I'm not the only one who genuinely found this whole concept to be creepy. Especially for a wholesome show like Phineas and Ferb. It's not just me, right? Like, I don't know. Like, some people would say I'm really reaching with the creepiness factor, but I don't know, guys. Like I said time and again, I make these videos because I want to, and that's genuinely how I feel. But anyways, hello, Tails. Welcome to the stream. Okay, just to clarify. Sorry, guys. There was someone at the door. Give me a sec. I went on record saying that Season 5 of Phineas and Ferb so far has been genuinely respectable in capturing the spirit of the original series, and for the most part, that is true. You got the catchy music, no one's out of character for what it's worth, and it's still really funny and well written. So with all that being said, and I ask this out of my most earnest sense of curiosity, what exactly was going on through Dan and Swampy's heads when making the Candace suit, and Attack of the Candace suit. Genuinely, to this day, I know this episode is like 4 months old, but it feels like no one has talked about it. Like, people have said, oh, the reboot is great. Oh, this episode is great. This episode, blah, blah, blah. Like, honestly, just look at Phineas and Ferb season 5 on the search bar, and it feels like nobody talks enough about these 2 episodes, to be honest. I don't know if you know, but Phineas actually has a new design in the new season. His shirt has an extra stripe compared to before. Would that really quantify as a new design, though, Erica? Like, okay, technically yes, but if I can't notice it at a glance, then should I really concern myself with it? I kind of get a lot more views compared to the other ones, apparently, especially with this generation. It's cooked because they don't know what's a cartoon. I'm not sure I entirely understand that, Jay, but in some ways I understand it. Oh, you're European, Swamp. Oh, you're European. Okay. Hello, Night Fury. Welcome to the stream. Impulsively, I thought to myself, but nah, this show is way too dignified and wholesome for me to ever jump. Can you guys hear the video well enough now that I think about it? I don't know. That's just, maybe I'm just being paranoid about it, as usual. But yeah. Like, that... It's really easy to misconstrue this episode's premise just with, oh, it's just a kinky fetish that the writers were trying to sneak in. Because, well, let's be honest, guys. After all these months of analyzing The Loud House, can y'all blame me for being a little too cynical? Anyways. But nah, this show is way too dignified and wholesome for me to ever jump to that conclusion. And, well, after 4.5 seasons of Phineas and Ferb, even though that was like a decade ago, like, I don't know, they've never really put me under that suspicion, and most of the writers are still the same as they were before, so, or maybe, I sincerely doubt it. As far as I'm concerned, the bar is just really that low. I'm not gonna pretend like I know Dan and Swampy on a personal level, but the goats, like, honestly, to this day, like, it's crazy how long I've looked up to Dan Povenmire as a creator and whatnot, and Swampy too, but to be honest, Dan has a lot more social media influence, let me put it that way. I don't mean to discredit Swampy in any way, I'm sure his contributions are equal. But how was my Halloween? Pretty tame, Night Fury. Very tame. I went to work, I got off early, and I just spent the rest of the afternoon at my place, just playing more Legends ZA. I've seen enough stuff behind the scenes to believe that they're genuinely passionate and thoughtful about their work, and that they most likely... Swamp Suit, that is just the tip of the iceberg, homie. Frickin' fart jokes in the Loud House. Like, it's crazy. I think Savino said in one interview, hey, if we're gonna make a fart joke, we're at least gonna make it meaningful or funny, but most of the time they really haven't. Likely hold their writing team to the same standard. For all I know, I'd like to believe that applies here as well. Amidst the premise, the uncomfortable visuals, and... God, I still can't get over that scene. That opening scene with Jeremy and the... Oh, God, I still hate it, man. Idea as a whole, I still hate it. Can I interpret these videos ironically and in good conscience? And to those of you wondering... Idea as a whole, can I interpret these videos ironically? Why didn't I just re-record this line instead of just correcting myself with the captions? Well, to be honest, guys, I was in the middle of moving out, so I didn't have the chance to reboot my PC and re-record the line. And to be honest, it's kind of tedious. And in good conscience, as ironic as that might sound, well, let's take a gander, shall we? Something about every time I put glasses on the Mudkip PNG, I don't know, something about it just makes me chuckle a little bit. Dan is such a go-to creator that his pencil is on a plaque at... Really? Erica, now I kind of want to travel to Florida, to Orlando, to see the pencil for myself. His pencil is on a plaque in a Disney World? Okay, I kind of want to see it now. That would make... I don't know about the rest of the world, but for me, that'd be like a peak tourist trap, to say the least. For whatever reason, not only did we get a callback to Buford's most questionable tendency, which I thought was just going to be a one-time thing, but they expanded on it twice. Seriously, when I heard the show was getting rebooted, when anyone was hearing that the show was getting rebooted, what was the first thing that came to mind when it came to the show that you expected to see in the new season? Like, was anybody off the top of their heads thinking, oh, Buford's life-size mold of Candace, we should bring that back? Like, who the hell was thinking that? Who even remembers that? Genuinely. Because I didn't until these episodes. I really didn't. Dan once reacted to that 3D animation. Yeah, of that 3D Doofenshmirtz. I've seen the clip. How do these people who work on these shows sit down with a straight face and write and animate disguised fetishes, then proceed to broadcast it? Genuinely, Pixel. Like, I've talked about it before, and as a matter of fact, we're gonna get to it later. But yeah, later we're gonna look at Tunchi's video talking about the really loud house, and well, there's a prime example of that problem. We'll get to it soon enough. You'll know what I mean. First things first, the invention of the day. Phineas and Ferb's latest is a giant pogo stick, and for what it's worth, this moment was really fun and sweet.
3, 2, 1.
This is awesome!
Told ya! It's nice to be appreciated.
Genuinely, it's... Look, I like to believe I don't get too caught up with shipping and whatnot, but guys, every time I see Phineas and Isabella interact, my heart just melts. It's just genuinely that innocent. Or at least the way I see it. I don't know about the rest of you guys. If I can make a movie, what would my story be about? Because the plot would be a time skip with Lincoln as a teenager struggling between a love life and trying to be a good brother. Do we really need a time skip for that, Night Fury? It'd make for a good movie, and like I've said before, even a series finale, but do we really need a time skip for it? I don't know. Then, Candace is hit with the theory that if she disguises her mom as her, said invention won't disappear the moment she gets her to look this time. Any outsider to this series might be thinking, okay, she's gonna put on a wig, apply some makeup, maybe make her literally stick her neck out? Yeah, Candace got a long neck. She a long neck girl. Guess again. Like, genuinely, if this was the first episode of the series you ever saw, like, would you be thinking, okay, she's gonna get a rubber replica of herself that looks like a corpse and slap it onto her mom? Like, I know the show is kind of outlandish here and there, but this is just too much, man. This is where, I never thought I would draw the line anywhere, but this is where I draw it, to be honest. Yeah, remember when Buford conveniently had a life-size mold of Candace and apparently all of his other friends? I didn't. I wish I didn't, but... Or at least I wish I didn't. All these years later, this one idea from a long line of episodes is taken to an even more... Seriously, just look at this. Guys, take a... Who, what, when, where, why, how? Just one look at this thing in a... Just any... This guy... What is this visual, man? Like, this imagery is just so uncomfortable right off the bat. And we got 2 whole episodes of it. Bizarre new level. When Candace needs a mold of herself again, he offers something so much more disturbing. Like, how do you look at this and think, yeah, our wholesome Disney Channel show definitely needs this? Like, again, I want to give Dan and Swampy the benefit of the doubt, but this episode made it really difficult. If this weren't a kid's show, I would be more hard-pressed to ask, is there any line Buford's outlandish sense of defiance wouldn't cross?
No flirting with employees. Is it that big of a problem?
One chili dog, and your shirt color really suits your eyes.
You've already been warned, Buford.
To those of you saying, oh, Buford is bi now? No, don't even go there. He's just flirting with Jeremy because he knows he's taken. That's it. Don't make this more than what it needs to be, guys. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, Candace gets a bunch of suits that look like her hollowed out corpse. God, man, I can't even look at it. With a time skip and making them teenagers makes sense, since usually romantic feelings begin to come out in emotional terms, I guess. Maybe a 2-year time skip, just don't make them, like, maybe 14 or 15? Yeah, I guess that would make sense, Night Fury. The Candace joints look like something you'd see with taxidermy or something. That's more or less what it is, but it's really easy to misinterpret it. And I guess for the fun of it, everyone tries one on.
Jesus, man!
For whatever... Hold on. It was a really sudden cut, but this... And I guess for the fun of it, everyone tries one on.
Jesus, man!
Bro, back in the day, Ray William Johnson, that was my stuff growing up. Not something a 14-year-old should be watching, but that was my stuff growing up. For whatever it was worth, though, it was cute seeing Phineas and Isabella share a brain cell.
We're putting them on, aren't we?
Duh.
Meanwhile, like, it's just the little moments, man. Just them saying duh together. Like, I don't know, man. The usual Perry and Doof shenanigans, but that's not important. For now. I think the series finale should end with them at as their current age. A lot of shows end their series with a time skip, and it usually causes problems. Can you give me an example, Nitro? Because I can't think of any off the top of my head. Everyone suits up, we get a song for the occasion, and to top it all off, probably the most uncomfortable imagery the show has ever mustered. To be fair, this is the same channel that allowed a child to get impaled through a flaming sword. I mean, yeah, Devin, you're right. I mean, I know what show you're talking about, but at the same time, I don't want to spoil it. So, but there's a fine line between gore and fetish humor, for lack of a better term, fetish humor. Like there's a fine line. Like someone getting impaled, no blood. Okay, maybe it can circumvent the censors, but this, yeah, it gets past the censors as well, but it doesn't make it any less uncomfortable. Like when it comes to violence like that, like at the very least I understand it's for the emotional tension. Here, it's just here to make you uncomfortable and not in a fun way. I'm not saying the show isn't capable of decent horror. Heck, being turned into a mindless doof clone is a pretty frightening concept. Like, to be honest, if they were just doing it for the shock factor, I feel like they already nailed it with Night of the Living Pharmacist. Still a great episode, by the way. Probably my favorite Halloween special out of all of them. And this show has a lot of them. Good God, man. It says something when I can't stare at what you're presenting without this constant and unpleasant feeling in my gut. There's a fine line between frightening with purpose and creepy for the sake of it. And this really teeters a lot. Oh, God, I hate it. I hate it. You know you're doing something wrong when you remind me of the Owl House's setting and world building. Or the Owl House in general. Yeah, I said it. Why are you boring me? I'm right. In case it wasn't obvious enough, I don't like the Owl House. Thank you very much. I will leave it at that. But anyways, Candace convinces Mom to put on a suit. The former accidentally keeps bringing the wrong dupe to the backyard, and by the time she hits the right one, it's too late again. In the meantime, and after the fact respectively though...
Hey, look at me, I'm a cowboy!
To be honest, I completely forgot this happened until after we got the Attack of the Candace suit episode.
Few moments later.
I'm losing my sanity watching these characters where, yeah, this whole episode, it was just visually, it was the most visually unappealing episode of this franchise, to say the least. You'd think this rare abnormality of an episode would be the end. I will say this though, guys, I don't think I've ever used Bayonetta music in my videos before, and you know what? This is not a bad choice to go with. You'd think this rare abnormality of an episode would be the end of this shtick, but we got a follow-up, and it manages to be even more uncomfortable. The last Candace suit gains sentience, swallows Doofenshmirtz whole, and thanks to oh my gosh. Linda in her these visuals, man, I hate them. I hate them. Way to the house where it plans on like, y'all see why it took me so long to make this 9-minute video? I just couldn't look at the foot. I just couldn't look at the foot. How many times did I freeze up looking at just the footage I was editing? Like, oh gosh. Placing the real Candace. And dear God, every time I look at this thing in any literal shape or form, I am literally cringing. I mean, just look at this thing. The sound effect and the... God, sometimes I'm just really proud of my editing choices, guys. Just the two dudes saying, ew, dude, what the... Literal shape or form, I am literally cringing. I mean, just look at this thing. Who wrote this? Okay, that checks out a bit. Yeah. Same guy who wrote... Well, he didn't write Doofenshmirtz. Okay, Scott Peterson, one of the writers on the team. He did not write Doofenshmirtz, but he did come up with the concept for the story, and look what it freaking resulted in. God. Are we sure this wasn't meant to air around October? But... Like, to be honest, this would make a pretty cracked Halloween special, so I don't know why they aired it in July. Anyways, you can kind of guess where the plot goes. The suit gets caught, it goes on the run, but in a twist... The suit swallows Candace and goes unnoticed again. Oh, and in the meantime, Candace is practically suffocating throughout the whole process in yet another uncomfortable visual. Yeah. I'm sorry, how did a wholesome... Because damaging my eyes wasn't bad enough. You also gotta hurt my like, the whole time Candace is trapped in there. She's basically choking. Like, gosh, man. Disney cartoon of all things provokes... I know it seems like a nitpick, but at the same time, look how... For lack of a better term, look how squeezed up she's in there. So much claustrophobia, I didn't even know I had. I don't freaking know. And if it weren't for this dude knowing his girlfriend too well, it would have gotten away with it. Yo, find someone who understands you the way Jeremy understands Candace. I will say this. I know I've said this show doesn't hinge a lot on character progression, but the bond between Jeremy and Candace, like, yeah, S tier, S tier. Speaking of character dynamics, though, this one moment bothers me more than any of the creepy imagery. The suit gets caught, gives a pity speech, and then it lunges at Isabella. And what's our homeboy Phineas's first reaction? Like, yeah, that thing is pulling away at her. She is screaming in horror, and all the boys gotta say is, "Hey, get off her!" Like a freaking nerd, man. Yeah, the same dude who built her a whole haunted house just to cure her hiccups, panicked for once when she was missing. Like, yeah, she was missing, and you screamed in a frenzy, and took what's basically a zombie bite for her. Like, I know it seems like a minor nitpick, but it is the way I see it, it is a glaring inconsistency with his character and his bond with Isabella, to say the least. I'm sorry, is it weird for me to expect a little more out of him at the sight of her being harassed? Like, hey, go in and pull the thing away, yell a little louder, that's it. That's all you had to do. Okay, I know I've gone, not just point your finger and say, "Hey, get off her." Like, on record saying this show doesn't hinge too much on character development most of the time, but even this brief moment should be one of those exceptions, but I digress. The suit gets foiled, and cleverly enough, the gang sends it to... Okay, see, now that's something worth making a callback to. Yeah. They travel to the Himalayas and let her chill out with Clint Balloon, the magical old-timey swimsuit that lives in the Himalayas. Because I guess they have a couple things in common? Like, I don't know. I thought that was really nice, to say the least. As a big Owl House fan, I respect you for making a bold hot take. Is it really a hot take, though? I'm not the only person who said it. Mudkip's seen dead in a ditch in Ohio after saying the Owl House is bad. Yeah. Not the first time I've thrown a jab at the show, but again, I'm not the only prominent content creator. Well, not really prominent. I'm not the only content creator out there on YouTube who's actually talked smack about the show, to say the least. 5 Nights at Phineas and Ferb's. Time skips in general can work if they don't have major character changes between the time skip and before it. Same with the setting in the world. Yeah. Like if it's... Okay, in the case of the Loud House, the 1 year time skip, it definitely... For the most part, it felt like a step backwards, just because School is considered one of the worst episodes in the whole series, well, at least in the eyes of many. And that's that. So, can I say this is the most disturbing and stomach-churning episode in the show's history? I mean, yeah. It's not like with Night of the Living Pharmacist, where the premise is silly, but it's still efficiently terrifying. This just feels terrifying. Like, yeah. Being turned into a mindless doof clone, and if he touches you, you turn into a mindless doof clone. Okay, really good twist, really good take on really good attempt at a kid-friendly zombie apocalypse. No shooting, no guns, no violence, just a lot of horror that really managed its way to circumvent with the censors. The premise is silly, but it's still efficiently terrifying. Here, it feels like it's just trying to freak you out for the sake of freaking you out. Like, just look at this one frame from the episode. It feels terrifying. Are these two episodes, especially the latter one, bad by most means? No? It's still engaging. No one's behavior is out of character. Mostly. Yeah. Even despite everything I just said, there is a couple silver linings. I will say that. I will give it that. And it's still got a decent message at the end of it all. Yeah, the whole reason the living Candace suit wanted to swallow Candace is because, well, she wanted to be Candace in hopes of coping with its own identity crisis. Teaching the girl to appreciate her own life and who she is. Yeah. This mindless creature was just hell-bent on basically living your life. And it makes her realize, hey, maybe my life is not so bad after all. For whatever it might be. Like, even with all the uncomfortable imagery, like at the very least there was a consistent and genuine message at the end of it all. So I couldn't hate this episode too much, to say the least. I'm not gonna pretend I'm some sort of horror expert, but I do understand that good horror shouldn't just frighten you for cheap laughs, contrived stakes, or uninspired world building. And well, time and again, this show hasn't missed. Real subtle me. I was very subtle there, wasn't I? With Halloween specials, but maybe the one time they knocked it out of the park just set the bar a little too high. Seriously, Night of the Living Pharmacist, it's still... Okay, if I ever make a best Phineas and Ferb episode list of episodes, then Night of the Living Pharmacist is probably going to be on number 5. Like, yeah, it's a half-hour special. It has more than 3 times the amount of screen time than your usual episode, but it's still really good, man. Like, they knocked it out of the park. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I comfortable embracing this narrative ironically? Especially for a show teeming with irony and self-awareness? Like, yeah, usually when I watch the show, I'm just thinking, yeah, I'm not meant to take it too seriously. Yeah, something is gonna go wrong, something is gonna go right. Like, I know, like, it's so formulaic, I more or less know what to expect, but even then, it's still inventive and creative. Like, I don't know, it's very self aware with its own humor, and can I embrace that mentality here? I think it's the one time I couldn't, like I said in the video. Probably not. Would I say it's the worst episode in the franchise? By default, and in my opinion? Maybe. Hear me out. Hear me out. Off the top of my head, I don't think there's ever been a Phineas and Ferb episode that's outright bad. Which, in the span of about 4.5 seasons, it says a lot. But if I was forced to say that I had a least favorite episode, I would say it's these two for more or less personal reasons. At the end of the day, though, and like I've mentioned in the past, I trust the passion behind these writers and creators. So maybe in time, this will grow on me and I can embrace the irony as usual. But only time will tell. We'll just have to wait and see, guys, because this episode came out like 4 months ago. And so far, yeah, no, I still hold the opinion that this is a really uncomfortable episode. But in some ways, not entirely. Like I said, there's hardly such a thing as a bad Phineas and Ferb episode. Those of you who have actually seen the show, name one episode you genuinely think is bad. Like, I've heard a couple ideas here and there, but any episode of the series, I'm more than happy to watch again because none of them are ever really problematic in any way. Although, like I've said at the beginning of the video, maybe it's because the Loud House just set the bar really low for me, but I don't know. But that's that, guys. I don't know. Something about this video just feels incomplete. Because keep in mind, guys, in order for a video to be monetized, I think it has to be at least 10 minutes long. And I could barely reach 9 minutes just talking about this. Like, the script is only like 4 pages long. So, I don't know. I feel like I could have said a little more, but at what point am I just rambling instead of actually talking about what needs to be addressed? Would I like gummy worms or a Reese's cup? I prefer gummy worms, Jay. I don't know. Reese's cups are... I think Reese's in general is kind of overrated. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm just not too crazy about mixing peanut butter and chocolate. Is it just me? Okay, speaking of hot takes. Yeah, I don't like the Owl House. I don't like Reese's peanut butter cups. I guess I just hate fun. Okay, am I crazy or is the music a little too loud? Probably. Hold on, guys. Here I am. It wouldn't be it wouldn't be an icy stream. It wouldn't be my stream if I wasn't being paranoid about the audio. As per freaking usual. Because I did look back at the VOD from last week, guys, and honestly, as I was reading the comic, honestly, the background music was a little too loud. That's just me, though. But alright, guys. Plan for today is, Nick, if you're in chat, we're finally going to be watching these, just because I was genuinely curious, not just because you actually talked me into it. Well, I guess it's both, the more I think about it. And also, chat, we've already seen a couple Toonchi videos. Which one do you want to see next? The terrible Christmas movie, the live action talk. We've already seen the Casa Grandes one. We've already seen the painful decline in its entirety and in one stream. FUN is never FUN for you. What do you mean, Swamsuit? What does that even mean, bro? Why'd you have to put it in an acronym? What do you mean? I'm guessing you're quoting something, but I don't know, man. But the more I think about it, guys, I think... Wait. When is Dia de los Muertos, now that I think about it? Is it today, or was it yesterday? Because yesterday was a bit of a commemoration at work, but to be honest, guys, I'm really indifferent to the holiday. What about the one where he backpedals his Owl House take? Oh, gosh, you're right, Eric. I almost forgot about it. Okay. Yeah, where he talks about season 2, more or less. Do I want to watch that first? I don't know what I want to watch first, guys. But you know what? Let's be true to the title and watch a Loud video first. Not an Owl House video first. I know the titles are similar, but let's be true to the title for a little bit. So, you know, let's go to the one talking about the series, because I think, I don't know, it just piques my interest the most. But all right, guys, should I put this on full screen? To be honest, I don't see the harm. Yeah, why not? Jay, that's a cup of boba tea. That's not... A boba tea. Oh, boba tea and gummy worms. You know what? I know it's a lot of sugar, but at the same time, I'm kind of down for that. Not gonna lie. But all right. Disclaimer, this video is mostly me having fun and I may come off as disjointed. I apologize for the inevitable development issues you'll most likely develop. Okay, how old is this video? Just out of curiosity. Okay, this video is over 2 years old. Almost 3. Yeah, November 25th of 2022. I'm guessing from his eyes, most of the humor won't age well, but let's see.
Hello everyone, Toonchi here, Cartoonchi if you so please. Apologies for taking a lot of
I mean, does anyone call him Cartoonchi? I guess in a formal context I would, but I think everyone just calls him Toonchi.
breaks recently. I spent most of my time away from YouTube planning out more YouTube videos, so try to pretend that massive upload gap isn't there. Just like how I convinced myself to not feel crushingly depressed when a project I poured my heart into underperforms.
Aww. You know what? I kind of want to watch this video just to support it. I mean, to be fair, it's like 2 years old, but still. Like, I don't know. For the most part, I did enjoy Amphibia. It definitely dwindled down a little in quality as I was going through the show, as the show went on, but it still ended well enough. I really like the ending. I really like most of it, and I really like a lot of the characters.
Which brings us to
That's just me, though.
Today's video. The Loud House is a show that even my closest friends are getting sick of me talking about.
Wait, hold on. Let me see that DM. Hold on.
Dead horse when it stops spitting out money, is what I'd be saying if YouTube didn't revoke.
Wait, hold on. Let me see that DM. Toonchi, please block the term the really loud house in your comment section right freaking now. Oh, God.
I'll stop beating this dead horse.
You know what? I can see why you stopped talking about this franchise as a whole. Like, honestly, I can safely speak from experience because that a lot of this fandom just can't get a clue when it comes to watching your entire video and not being toxic about it. That's all I can really say.
When it stops spitting out money, is what I'd be saying if YouTube didn't revoke my monetization over my passport expiring. But unfortunately for Mrs. Wobblefrack,
Wait, what? Demonetized because you're what?
I, regardless of cash, am driven to watch 3 full episodes of a live-action kids show purely for the clout game. The doctor said I should stop taking Benadryl before I am considered criminally insane.
Okay, my guy. Yeah, some of his sense of humor is a little extra, but it's not problematic.
But down in the underworld, we block out the haters. For real. On to the topic at hand. The Loud House is a popular Nickelodeon show that fell off. I made a terrible video on its decline 1 million views later, and I'm talking about its constant stream of new content outside of the main show itself. I haven't watched
how'd that play out?
it since that original video, but I have seen the official Loud House movie and the live-action Christmas movie that both released last year. Oh my god. Safe to
And we're both awful. One worse than the other, but they're still pretty awful.
say shit was mid, but the live-action Christmas movie in particular was far more interesting as a study piece into a modern tragedy. Add a green filter and some dramatic music to Lincoln's insane behavior and you'd have a pretty good Oscar contender. But
Okay, calm down, bro. Calm
it
down.
was also shortly announced after that not only was the Loud House getting a 7th season, there would also be an all-new live-action TV series adaptation running at the same time.
That got canceled after 2 seasons, mind you. So, yeah. How'd that play out? Ricky, I have no idea who that is, my guy.
Creatively titled The Really Loud House, and will retain the cast from the Christmas movie. Immediately, I
Okay, to be fair, though, a couple of them did get recast, so not entirely. Lynn got recast, Bobby got recast, I think also Lenny got recast. Stella's actress just left, and they never bothered recasting her, which still bothers me, but hey. It's not that big of a deal.
was confused.
This show sucked anyway, so you know what? The character and the actress both dodged the bullet, so...
And so was everyone else. Why are you running the original show at the same time as a live-action recreation? This isn't a fairly
That's a good question.
odder scenario, where the original show was long dead before it was brought into the world with the grace of a thermonuclear mushroom cloud. It was just the same show, but in live-action, running at the same time as the original.
That's the one thing that's always bothered me about this live-action version. It pretends it's still a cartoon when the whole premise is that it's not a cartoon anymore. Like, know what I mean?
Nickelodeon have always been greedy, especially with the Loud House, with,
Again, Ricky, I still have no idea who you're talking about.
varying results after they cancelled the Cleveland show spin-off that no one watched. But this
Hold on, let me see that again.
varying results after they cancelled the Cleveland show.
Like, I'm telling you, man, this editing is so quick-witted that I can't even read I can't even process what's happening. despite rave reviews and loyal followings. Yeah. To be honest, guys, seriously, this is one of the few times Wikipedia's not screwing with you. Look up the ratings for the show and tell me if you think that genuinely quantifies success. It doesn't. That's all I can tell you.
Show spin-off that more
POV, you are the only Casagrandes fans? They are Casagrandes fans? No.
but this was quite an anomaly. An anomaly.
An anomaly, Tunchi. Anomaly.
An anomaly I promised myself I would not watch until no one watched my Amphibia video, so my hand is now...
Okay, deadass, guys. I want to support his Amphibia video just because it's a good show. Like Matt Braley, he's kind of a dumbass nowadays if you've seen his Twitter, but this is, for the most part, this is an above average show. Not as good as Gravity Falls, but it's still better than the Owl House. To be honest, I don't know how high the bar is, but I don't know.
I sat down and watched the 3 episodes that are currently out, because yes, there are going to be more of these.
Wait. Only 3?
A whole season, in fact. And if they're anything like the episodes that I've seen, then... oh boy.
Yep. I've talked about this in my videos, and it's still wrong. It's still wrong. Still haven't...
White man has been here. How can you tell? Child exploitation. This
I mean, is he wrong, though? Is he wrong? I don't know. I really don't know what the stereotypical connotations are in this context, but that's still really funny, man.
This was precisely what I feared was going to happen when this show got real, by the way. I firmly believe that no live-action showrunner at Nick should be allowed 500 feet away from a school zone. Extend that to the fan base as well while you're at it.
Yeah.
And keep bumbling. I'm not calling anyone anything here, but a rule of thumb is that if your live-action show features child actors doing rather humiliating fetishy shit, then you may need to be
God, I know this was like a couple of years ago, but man, you have to wonder how long it took for Lincoln's actor to live this down, because that is morbid. Like, I don't care if you think you're being funny. I don't care if it's ultimately innocent. The fact of the matter is, they made a kid do this on international television. Like, what are we doing? What am I talking about? Matt Braley, the creator of Amphibia, Ivan. Matt Braley, the creator of Amphibia.
Incarcerated. And again, for the people who think it's weird to rip into a kid show, no one has any issue when people do it to other kid shows of the same age demographic.
I mean, to be fair, that version still sucks.
Yet Loud House keeps getting slapped with the "this is for babies" sticker. If it's fun to rip into, then I'll rip into it. Without further ado, on to the show itself.
This video is mainly done for laughs, and I am not genuinely mauling at a children's film. Also, it's so ungodly boring that exaggeration is required. Yes. I can see, let me put it this way. I can see why they got canceled after 2 seasons and having their series finale, more or less, just be a really tame Thanksgiving special. That's it. Like, no goodbye, no farewells. It's just a run-of-the-mill Thanksgiving special. That's how they ended the show.
I'll be discussing all 3 episodes so far as one subject instead of going episode by episode.
I'm not even sure. Okay, that's the thing. This show is so forgettable that I'm not even sure which 3 episodes he's talking about. Like, that's how bad this version got.
Because this show is pretty much a death by 1,000 cuts scenario. It's true that future episodes could be better or even worse, but I'm not watching this show again after.
Yeah. Once was already enough.
Let's get.
And keep in mind, guys, I stomached all 2 seasons of it, and never again. No, never again.
Some positives out of the way, actually. Just like with the Christmas movie, I really like the set design and the dedication to making everything.
I will give it that. Yeah, I will give it that.
Actually, just like with the Christmas.
Like, Vanzilla, the design of the house, the bikes in the front yard, the tree swing. Like, honestly, props to the set designers and whatnot. Like, the budget, it definitely went in the right place.
This movie, I really like the set design and the dedication to making everything look as accurate to the actual cartoon as possible.
Like, they basically built a whole house that looks exactly like the one in the cartoon. Like, do you have any idea how complicated that can be sometimes?
Costume design is on point, props are on point, the rooms are...
I mean, to be fair, the outfits are pretty basic, more or less. Like, the lead just wears an orange polo and jeans. Like, it's not too complicated.
Under one of their cartoon counterparts. Visually, outside of some awful CGI, the show is solid.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot the CG was awful.
And everyone at least looks like they're having fun here. Once again, fuck you if you bully the child actors or their appearances.
Yeah. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It seemed like the cast was having a lot of fun on the set, but that doesn't make the show good. But You know what? More power to them in that regard.
I will be poking fun at some of the performances here though, because they're painfully obnoxious, which is not anyone's fault here. Apart from a few outliers, all of the cast members from the Christmas movie make their return, including
I don't think the performances were a problem, to be honest. But let's see what he's talking about. I'll let him cook.
Schaffer as Lincoln Loud, although I'm not sure why he's still here after the Christmas movie caused him to go bald. That's not a joke, by the way. In the behind the scenes for this show, they revealed that Schaffer is just wearing a wig in the show because the white dye they gave him in the Christmas movie caused his hair to start falling out.
Like, is it that impossible to just find a white? Like, why did they just go with a wig from the start? Why did they have to dye his? Oh my goodness! Oh, poor kid. He went bald, and they made him wear a. Oh gosh. Just from all the stories I'm hearing from behind the scenes, this show was doomed from the start, man.
Good job, guys.
Cool fun fact. Dye didn't work. My hair kind of fell out, so I definitely prefer the wig to losing my hair.
I don't know, man. Personally, I'd sue. Okay, praising time.
Yeah, you could sue. He's a kid. You made a kid go bald, Nickelodeon. Congratulations.
It was over. Time for me to start being a dickhead. Oh look, it's Satan. Thankfully, Lincoln is toned down a lot more than he was in the Christmas movie, where he regularly engaged in domestic terrorism. He's just an incredibly bratty, twatty, annoying child now, which is
yeah, about what you would expect out of any 12-year-old. Or 11? Like, I don't know. Their ages are not made very clear in this version, to say the least.
Definitely more in line with his cartoon counterpart. It's just a shame that that also sucks. You'll notice right away that the show's comedy is, well...
It's just not funny. Or worse, it's gross. That's all there is to it.
Butt pimple.
It makes me want to...
Wait, what did that say there?
He is, well...
I have a butt pimple.
That feeling when this is this is attached to your resume forever. Oh my, yep. Imagine all the child actors trying to make it big in Hollywood and Burbank or whatever, and they have to say they were on this show, making these jokes about butt pimples. Just take a moment to process that, guys. Take a moment to process it.
It makes me want to stab. It's a combination of trying to be hip, trying to be self-aware, and trying to be cartoony with just a touch of intentional cringe comedy.
And like I said, that's the problem. It tries to be a cartoon when it's literally not a cartoon anymore. That's the whole point of this version, but here we are.
Out all the requirements for being a CIA torture device. I always knew it wasn't a coincidence for this show to be made during a major war. It's good to see that psychological warfare is back on the menu. Well, more like psychological lobotomy. The basic plot synopsis for episode 1 I can provide is that Lincoln and Clyde want to watch Andrew Tate at midnight to obtain a promo code.
Andrew! He's not wrong. I mean, is Rip Hardcore basically just Andrew Tate? No. Okay, hold on. I need to think about it for a moment. No, he's right. No, I don't know what to make it. I'm not even sure what Andrew Tate does. I just know he's a jerk. I just know he's a jerk. I just know he's... If there was... Let me put it this way. If toxic... He is the embodiment... I hate using this term, but he's the embodiment of toxic masculinity. Is this basically... Oh, gosh. I guess... He's not wrong. Oh gosh, he's not wrong.
That gets them a Macho Man badge. I'm surprised there's still fans of Rip Hardcore after he spent the last 20 minutes of the Christmas movie trying to kill them. But I'm guessing the stress has caused early onset dementia. Hello?
Wait, what?
Base department? I mean no foul to the guy who played him in the movie, but I think that Rip Hardcore was definitely bigoted.
Lincoln Loud, what color is your Bugatti?
I'll personally...
What the fuck?
Take trans LA hardcore.
Okay, I need to watch my mouth.
Extremely based.
There's nothing cooler than a badge. That's why I want to join the FBI as a badge maker.
Why is Clyde a
Wait, what?
Fed? Fuck, this really is a CIA torture device.
Oh god. How did they get it? I'm genuinely surprised they got away with that joke, but anyways.
Isn't it? It appears Clyde portraying the working class was one of the legendary 7 twists. It also seems they're still being lazy with audio because I shit thee not, lad. I recognized a line being reused from the Christmas movie.
Number 2.
I mean, to be fair, she's not on screen, so... Is it? Yeah, that is lazy. They could have just made her re-record it. Especially because I think it's a different actress now, so...
Safe for a while.
Yeah, Lynn got recast, and they didn't even bother. Okay, yeah, that is lazy. Okay.
This is picking that nit rather hard, I apologize, but I think it speaks volumes as to just how much care actually goes into the series outside of the visuals.
The only thing left to do is prepare the
God, it never ends.
I mean, they legally... yeah, say what you will, and I agree with it, but legally, they still have to give him credit. It's the law, man.
Well, at least Lincoln isn't as annoying as he used to be.
Everyone goes to bed before midnight, not 1 minute later.
Never mind.
This isn't fair. It's Lucy's fault. Why should we have to suffer?
You privileged little shit. How many 11-year-olds get to stay up past
I mean, what's the context for... Okay.
midnight? Fuck, past 9 p.m. if they're lucky. So basically,
Like, yeah, you're 12 years old. Like, I don't think physically, I don't think you can manage to stay up past midnight anyways.
because Lucy has been staying awake for 3 days straight, the parents are only now enforcing a midnight curfew on their family of 10 kids under the age of 18. You're not very good at this. This of course flies in the face of Lincoln's plans, especially because Lynn Sr. is celebrating his half birthday on the day of the Andrew Tate stream. So the rest of the
Is that even a thing? A half birthday? Movies in the 80s have better wigs? Yeah, to be honest,
consists of Lincoln and Clyde
his wig, it's still, like, from a certain angle, it still looks like a blonde wig. That does not look like white hair whatsoever, to be honest.
helping out the Loud Sisters in a series
Like, okay, I get it. You couldn't work with the hair dye, but was a better wig really out of the budget? Like, seriously, look at it closely. It looks, from this kind of angle and with this kind of lighting, it just looks blonde.
of painfully unfunny skits.
Bobby, I literally love that you never litter. If you literally ever litter, you pick it up later, which is literally not litter.
So they'll all cover for him at the celebration while he stays at home to watch.
Okay, again. So, yeah. Half birthday, Lincoln sends a robot to go in disguised as him, but again, this show likes to pretend it's not a this show treats itself like a cartoon when it's literally not a cartoon anymore. Like, is it so wrong to expect a little more realism out of this? Who is buying this crap? Mr. Coconuts looks kind of distracting. Yeah.
Painfully unfunny skits.
Bobby, I literally love that you never litter. If you literally ever litter, you pick it up later, which is
See, when people complain about Lori saying literally when it makes no sense or too frequently, it's crazy how they had the audacity to just double down on it here.
literally not litter.
So they'll all cover for
Seriously, who is falling for this? Like, again.
him at the celebration while he stays at home to watch TV. Ignoring the fact that Lincoln is a little shit for this episode is just incredibly weird.
Okay, to be fair though, I would hold it against Lincoln, but at the same time, who the heck is conceited enough to celebrate their half birthday? Like, how old is Lynn Sr.? Somewhere in his 40s? Like, one birthday a year. That's it. I don't know.
There's no real way I can describe this, but there's this distinct feeling of discomfort that I get from watching this show. I don't know if it's the show's over-reliance on cringe comedy, how uncanny
Yes,
it is
probably
to
just
see these
that.
cartoon characters in live action, their performances or what, but it's a uniquely painful experience
Okay, another problem I got. Well, at least with the character design and whatnot.
to see these cartoon characters in live action, their performances or
Lola and Lana's actresses at the time, I think their names are Ella and Mia. They're like 11 years old. Lola and Lana, the reason their teeth are missing is because canonically they're about 6 or 7 years old. It makes sense at that age. But these girls, they're about 11 at the time of this filming. So seeing them without teeth, it's just seeing with their missing front teeth, it's just a little too jarring for comfort.
what, but it's a uniquely
Like, yeah, it eventually gets addressed in the actual narrative, but for the entirety of the first season, it's there. And it's just really, I don't know how to put it. Would I say uncomfortable, distracting? Nah, distracting.
painful experience I haven't had anything come close to for a long time.
Have a great night, and if you're driving home, please take a car.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
I'll be using that clip from now on, counting it. I think it's
We have 14 minutes left in this video. I have to wonder how many times he's going to use it. No, I know, hold on. That's not my point. That's not my point. The point is, in live action, Lola and Lana's actresses are almost twice the age of the actual Lola and Lana. So to see them without teeth, it's just way too distracting.
It's more or less a problem of Nickelodeon sitcoms in general. We as a society are long past the age of calling things cringe as a critique, but that's the only word I have
I don't know, man. I think it kind of fits sometimes.
to describe how uncomfortable it is to watch this. I also can't tell if continuity
Of course, Lucy jump scares are clearly a joke, but the others are just weird. Okay.
Errors are supposed to be a part of the joke, but they come off as more of a mistake. I will give the show some credit though. Lynn Sr. is pretty funny. I actually look forward to any scene he's in because he's the best part of the show.
Yeah. I've actually talked about this a while back. What's the actor's name? Oh my gosh, how did I already forget the actor's name? All I know is he also voices the animated Lynn Sr. and to be honest, both great casting and both oh my gosh, I forgot his name. I gotta look it up. Don't tell me, Chad. Don't tell me. Who plays Lynn Sr.? Brian Stepanek. Oh my gosh, how did I forget his name? He was in Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Great casting.
I am not a good mechanic!
But everything else is just...
Is he using a filter to avoid copyright for the show like Breaking Bad? I don't know. I think he just flipped the image and that's it. Doesn't look like he's using a lighting filter.
crossing in and out of uncanny, cringe, and that is not my fetish, bitch. Let's get...
That should be nobody's. Oh god, I still can't get over the fact that they went through with it and they didn't see a problem with it.
The elephant in the room shot and buried. I made this tweet a few days ago expressing...
I have finished watching the live-action Loud House. In the third episode, Lincoln embarrasses himself in front of the school, gets made into a TikTok Sparta remix, and at one point has a fully... Yeah. I'm not going to talk about it because I already have, but...
my overall disgust with some of the fetishy content present in this series, which is unfortunately a problem as old as Nickelodeon itself.
It looks like Mr. White is going to walk up to him and... like, can we have to cook? That would explain the white hair. I don't know what I'm talking about. Next.
Everyone knows about Dan Schneider's antics, and I don't want to go straight up accusatory on the people behind this, but it gets to a point where you really have...
Now, even if I could trust that there was no creepy intentions with that choice in the narrative, at the same time, you're still humiliating a 12-year-old boy. How old was the actor at the time? 12, 13, 14? You're still humiliating a minor on international television. That's really, no matter how you slice it, you're still in the wrong for doing this.
Have to consider, are they thinking about what's being shown on screen, or is this intentional? This will all make sense once we get to the third episode, but keep this in mind for now. A general rule of thumb is that when creating a piece of children's entertainment that can be enjoyed by the whole family, it's customary to not cross the line of weirdo shit for a slapstick gag, especially if it involves real children.
Thank you. That's really all it hinges on.
It's just...
If it was the animated version, it might not be as problematic. Maybe not at all. But here, yeah.
Fucking weird.
It's really easy to misconstrue it.
Time being, we're stuck at episode 1, and for Nickelodeon standards, there have certainly been worse sitcoms than this. But at that point, you're making a judgment of character based on
Fred.
how many war crimes someone has committed. I think if 90% of your cast causes the average person to develop suicidal thoughts upon speaking, don't.
Okay, Mike.
I'm on Blog TV with my...
Okay, to be fair, man, no matter what version it is, Lynn Jr. makes you suicidal anyways. Damn. Okay, that is a horrible way of wording it, but yeah. Lynn, I think the general consensus is that Lynn is the worst Loud sister by a long shot, so...
Fucking hands up!
Let's be real, she would be incredibly racist.
Least racist sports fan.
Hi, baby, genius Lola. But what do you think's gonna happen when Dad notices you're not at his party?
I didn't think about that.
Unlucky, keep bumbling, motherfucker. There's also a lot of unintentionally funny stuff here too, like this melodramatic breakdown Lincoln has after rolling a -20 for his perception check. Then like 10 seconds later he rubs two brain cells together and says, hey, let's disguise the robot. Because yes, that's also a plot point.
That's still really dumb.
Lisa creates a robot and they disguise it as Lincoln.
Okay, no, she's always had the robot, but still.
And it's a scene that really benefits from being a silly cartoon, because when written in a real setting, you start to realize just how many of these characters have a chromosomal disorder. Like, you get the awkward scene of the fake saying something sus where you get the long pause before the other character responds, usually along the lines of, wow, you're pretty smart actually. But I swear this sequence lasts like 40 seconds, and it goes from being—
Keep in mind, guys, it's not like with the original series where one episode is about 11 minutes long. This one, they're all a half hour long. They're all 20-something minutes long. So yeah, it really drags on.
Intentional.
All the more reason the live action version, like, I don't know why they went through with it. I don't know why they greenlit it. I don't know who pitched it, but it was a mistake.
Cringe comedy to unintentional.
Like, I'm not holding anything against the actors. Like I said, it looked like they were really having fun behind the scenes and whatnot, but I sincerely wish the product turned out better.
Intentional hilarity as they zoom in on Lynn's stupid fucking face while he waits for his brain to load Internet Explorer.
Wait, am I getting copyrighted for that? Great villain song, by the way. Look it up.
Probably also a good time to mention that the pacing is absolutely insane. The Loud House's main trademark is its fast pacing, but the high energy of the cartoon just feels off in a live-action show that isn't as expressive as a cartoon. I do think that out of all of Nickelodeon's cartoons, the Loud House...
Hey, I just realized he's using Gravity Falls music in the background. Bass.
Does have the highest likelihood of working in a live-action setting, given how grounded it usually is.
Yeah.
Or how it used to be before the dragons and magic stones. God, that movie really...
And the ghosts, and the aliens, and the secret agents, and the... Oh my gosh, what has this show become, man? Really could have gone down in history as one of Nickelodeon's great if you just ended things properly at, like, what, the 4th season? I don't know, man.
Really did exist, but it's a likelihood, not a certainty. And as we can see here, the show is the...
Yeah, Tails, imagine if the live-action version was still going on, and they just kept recast after recast after recast, just like in the animated version.
Opposite.
Like, that's the one thing that really bothers me about the fact that Lincoln is still getting recast. And also Clyde recently. I think last month he just got recast again. Like, it's really hard to feel invested or attached with a character when his voice keeps changing every couple seasons.
Of certain. I'll give them this though, Lynn Sr.'s whole speech.
Yes, Swamsuit. The word based is in fact based.
About why he celebrates his half-birthday was actually sort of touching. Not kidding, Brian Stepanek is genuinely a good actor and he really delivers with his comedic lines and his heartfelt ones.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that Lincoln's
It's still a dumb prospect, but at the very least he's selling me on it with his performance.
response is to not tell him the truth of his actions, but instead to say that they were all lying to him about Lincoln just staying at home, because he was actually just planning his real celebration and...
Pixel, I think they were just going the Timmy Turner route of just giving her the two front teeth. Probably nothing to do with rabbits. At least I sincerely hope not, Pixel.
I'm sorry? You little fuck. You...
Why is every line that comes out of Senator Armstrong's mouth just pure gold, man? I'm telling you, man. I need to play Metal Gear Rising at some point. From all I've seen of the villain and whatnot, all the memes, all the music, I need to play this game someday. Maybe on stream. I don't know.
At least you admitted you were wrong in the Christmas special. Here you just lied to your parents. Twice. No repercussions, and despite it being a sweet thing to do, it kind of undercuts the message they're trying to teach. I got no quarrel with a kid show not teaching morals, but when they attempt to and fail...
I mean, to be honest, man, it wouldn't be the first time as far as the show is concerned. I'm not surprised, I'm just disappointed. That's what I'm trying to say. I got a confession, I don't like Modern Family, anything after season 3. That show does not need to go on for so long. To be honest, I don't think I've ever seen an episode of Modern Family in its entirety. Like, I don't know, for a show that went on so long, it really slipped under my radar, to be honest. Like, I don't know, I just never got the chance to watch it, and what I did, I just never thought it was funny. The only time I can ever think it made me laugh, and it's just it just happened to show up on my YouTube shorts while I was scrolling through YouTube shorts. This one moment where I think the mom is at a shooting gallery, and then Sofia Vergara is like, "No, it's sad that you spend so much time here, and that's the best you can shoot." And then she pops off with the gun. Like, I don't know. I thought that was really funny. But to be honest, Sofia Vergara is always funny. Like, her accent is really charming, in my opinion.
It's honestly kind of pathetic. Overall, episode 1 isn't the worst thing ever, but it's still not very good and highlights a lot of issues with Nick's live-action productions. Also, the song
what other live-action production is there at the time?
is shit. Shut up. Episode 2 is an equal disaster.
Also, that Luna song, just Luna in general in this version, like, I got nothing against the actress, but she does not match the energy of the original whatsoever. And honestly, it's kind of disheartening.
Disaster on all fronts, but despite that, this episode actually had several moments that made me laugh. All of which came from Stepanek as Lynn Sr., who was trying his
As a matter of fact, I think this episode is available for free on YouTube, but let me look it up, guys. Might not be in my country, but let's see. And I might as well turn on the music, just because the stream feels a little dead. Let's see. And yes, it's from an official Nickelodeon channel, by the way. Yeah, the first episode is here, and oh my god, 5 million views? Another one, that's not it. Nope. Not the whole episode. Okay, it's just a bunch of clips, never mind. Could have sworn this episode was available for free at somewhere On some YouTube, some official YouTube channel. I don't know which one though. But alright guys, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. You know, when I first watched this, I thought all the actors were the kids' ages. They probably weren't. Like, yeah, Wolfgang, you know what? Just to give you an example, man. Ella and Mia Allen. These are Lola and Lana's actresses. Like, yeah, when this show first started in, like, what, 2021? They were, like, 10 years old. Nowadays, they're 13. So, yeah, and you can tell they really age. They really age as the series goes on. Wait, they were in Amphibia? Huh. What are the odds? Anyways. But anyways, guys. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Okay. Did I mute the mic? Okay, I did. That's how Drake and Josh opens? What do you mean, Tails? You know, when I first watched this, I thought all the actors were the kids' ages. They weren't. They weren't, Tracy. They weren't. Yeah, not even. For the most part, they kind of weren't. And to be honest, does it really make a difference? Like, I don't know, as the seasons progress, even though there was only 2 of them, like, you could tell that the kids were getting older and older and older. But even at the start, like, you could tell the ages did not match. Like, Lisa's actor, definitely not 4 years old. Lola and Lana's actor, they were like 11 at the start of filming. And Lola and Lana are canonically, at best, 7 years old in the later seasons. Like, yeah, it did not, like, that was the least of the show's problems, but it's a problem. It's a problem nonetheless. Do I think I could write an entire new season of The Owl House, a rewrite that fixes my major issues with the show? That's the thing, Swampsuit. Fundamentally, it's just DeviantArt. The Owl House is just DeviantArt Harry Potter. Like, it's basically a Harry Potter ripoff. Like, the thing... Let me give you an example. The Grom episode, that one episode about losing Amity that people won't shut up about, the main villain is literally just a Bogart from Harry Potter. That's how unoriginal the entire series fundamentally is. And whatever isn't, it fails narratively. It's so inconsistent in the narrative. It doesn't match a good tone. It's not good messaging. It's not that I wouldn't try to write a new season. It's just that I don't want to. The show fundamentally doesn't work, if you ask me. Let's see. Rooftop showing into windows. That's how Chicken Charge opens. Oh. I mean, they wouldn't be the first to have tried it, especially for a Nickelodeon show, right? Like, just an establishing shot of the setting. Like, it's not that uncommon of a practice from what I know. But alright, guys.
Hardest to carry the episode with every fiber of his being.
If there's one thing I'm proud of, is the fact that I can keep track of all my kids.
Yep.
Where are all my kids?
Brian Stepanek, his back must hurt badly from trying to carry the show. Like, poor guy.
I know where Lily is.
Great.
She's in another dimension.
Great.
The jokes themselves aren't even that good, but delivery is pretty decent, and it makes him the main part of the episode I look forward to seeing when the
I will say, you know what? I'm gonna let him talk before I say anything.
focus wasn't on the sisters or the main plot involving Lincoln and Clyde. Lincoln tries to get out of doing chores by doing a terrible job, only for Clyde to accidentally snitch on him. And this results in them being put on lawn mowing duty, where they reenact Grand Theft Auto and get arrested. Wait, what the fuck? What kind of Chainsaw Man pacing is this? Things just sort of happen in this show. Like, there are major escalations of the absolute weirdest shit possible, and it really just melts the mind.
Never mind the fact that this cop just arrested 2 12-year-old boys and tried to take them to jail instead of taking them back to their parents or contacting them.
I have a butt pimple.
And then there's that.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
It begins with trying
there's the first.
to get out of chores, only for Lincoln and Clyde to get wrapped up in police work and end up arresting a well-known gang of cannibals.
He ground up Pablo's.
Yeah, Lisa. I know Lisa's hair in the animated version is out there, but this wig just doesn't do it justice either way. Like, I don't know. There's a reason some elements in animation should stay in animation, and those wigs are just the tip of the iceberg.
Entire gang into a milkshake and drank them.
It's true. They were all.
What is
I will say this. Hold on. Where's my mouse?
happening?
And drank them. It's true.
That's Gustavo from Big Time Rush. That is his actor. I forgot his name, but you know what? Props for bringing him back. Props for bringing him back in any capacity. Like, I'm a big fan of Big Time Rush. No pun intended.
They were all.
What is happening? Every person in this episode besides the Loud family just looks like they want to pack up and go home. That works for a lot of the episodes, actually. No one outside the Loud family looks like they want to be here. And even for the people that do look like they're having fun, again, besides Brian Stepanek, they're giving borderline obnoxious.
Is it pronounced Stepanek or Stepanek? I want to say Stepanek, but I don't know.
Just performances that I guess are their best efforts with the monstrosity of a script they've been given. There isn't a whole lot to say about episode 2 because it's fairly simple.
Like, in some instances, you can tell the actors are trying, like, especially Lola's. I mean, to be fair, Lola never misses, but like, the writing just doesn't give him a lot to work with, unfortunately.
The scenes involving Lynn Sr. are kind of funny, and everything else brings me immeasurable
Tracy, which one? There's like 3 of them. Okay, 2 of them in the case of Toonchi.
pain. If the show was just like this, some below average sitcom from Nickelodeon,
Okay, I will say this though. Did we really need the bangs on Lucy here? With the wig? Yeah, the wig is just... It's not as bad as Lisa's, but it's still really distracting.
Then I could put up with it. But then there's episode 3.
Oh boy.
I lost a lot of butt pimples in my day. That one fought back. We're that overnight.
What does that even mean? What does that even... How does... But how does a pimple... How does... Okay, sure, whatever. Cartoon logic, even though, again, you're not a cartoon anymore.
It'll be good as new in the morning.
Who made this, and how do I legally assassinate them? If episode 2 was
This is a joke. For legal reasons, he does have to clarify that it's a joke.
the episode to showcase a few of the show's merits, episode 3 is the point where they conform to basically every negative preconceived notion people have about Nickelodeon sitcoms.
Yeah, Nickelodeon. Thanks to this show and its stupidity, Nickelodeon is never beating the allegations. Thanks, Dan Schneider. Thanks, Savino. Thanks, anyone who wrote this abomination.
It is genuinely one of the most uncomfortable episodes of television I've
I guess it does make her head look a little too big, Pixel. Maybe that's the issue with it.
ever witnessed, and I think it should be classified as a constitutional outrage. You know those stories where a character embarrasses themselves in front of the entire school?
Okay, that... Surprisingly, that's the least of my concerns with this narrative. Because... Basically, the premise of this plot, guys, is... Oh, a new girl in school, Lincoln has a crush on her. It's almost as if they already did that 4 seasons ago in the animated version. So why are we trying to tackle this storyline again as if... just the redundancy of it all just pisses me off, man. Never mind the fact that I'm a fan of Stella. Like, just the redundancy. Even if I wasn't, the redundancy of it all just really pisses me off.
Just a large group of people and is then put through absolute hell for the next
Oh yeah, that's supposed to be Zach, by the way, even though it looks nothing like him.
10 to 20 minutes. Yeah, this is one of those. However, everything is somehow worse by about 11 trillion. The episode features the arrival of a new girl to Lincoln's school that he falls for. You'd think you could predict where this goes, but oh my god, it's a fucking doozy. Lincoln's school has their own news team, and every time someone new arrives in school, there's a mandatory interview that they show to the entire school.
Yeah, no pressure at all for that new student.
First of all, massive dick move if the person in question was incredibly anxious or self-conscious. Second of all, Lincoln zones out as she's talking, responding to her with very insensitive comments that already further embarrasses himself. And then, out of nowhere, after about 5 seconds of nothing,
I have a butt pimple.
You'd think a dude who has 10 sisters would actually have experience in keeping up a conversation with at least one female, and especially because he has a lot of female friends throughout the series, but I guess this is different, even though he's been in this exact same scenario with Stella. I don't know, man. Fundamentally, even when you remove all the disgusting fetish stuff, fundamentally and narratively, this episode fails from the start.
Lincoln has I'm not even gonna dignify that, and it's brought up as an offhand joke earlier in the episode, so you're like, oh, so they're gonna bring it up as a running gag. I get that, even if it's not even funny. You
It's
don't
not funny.
just expect him to randomly blurt it
But no, it's basically it basically sets up half the plot.
out for no reason. Like, you do stupid things under pressure, I get that, but like, Jesus. Talk about forcing a conflict.
Yeah.
So this episode went from being about Lincoln's new love
Even for a stuttering 12-year-old, I don't know how you label him, but it just doesn't make any sense.
interest to being about him going into hiding because he's become a laughingstock, including to his own siblings, which, fuck you. I believe there was a season 1 episode where Lincoln embarrasses his sisters on the internet and they were mad at him, so in response he embarrassed himself and they understood that he tried to make things right. It's morally a bit dubious, but you can see where things may be a tad inconsistent here, right? Like, this isn't the animated series, and Loud House is not exactly renowned for continuity, but these are the same
Yeah, continuity is a foreign concept to this show, at least nowadays, unfortunately.
characters, so logically you'd expect them to act the same, especially if they insensitively torment Lincoln with his humiliation. Like, Christ, the entire episode is just against the poor guy.
Surprisingly, it's mean-spirited. It's not the biggest issue with this episode, but the mean-spirited tone of the characters? Like, that's just adding fuel to the fire, man.
And Lincoln's not exactly a likable character, terrorist and all that, but he didn't do anything morally wrong in this episode, I don't think. You expect the school to be against him, but fuck, his own family, friends even. We then receive about 15...
Okay, fundamentally, Ned's Declassified Tales, it's like, there's no animated version. It's just that, like, all the cartoon shenanigans, you expect that of the characters, that's more or less, it's what is at its essence. This is a completely different realm, more or less, as far as this franchise is concerned. But yeah, Ned Bigby's cartoon logic definitely works better, just fundamentally.
Seconds of the girl showing Lincoln a Sparta remix of his humiliation through TikTok.
Yeah, it's still dumb. I don't know. Sparta remixes in, what, 2022? Like, what are we doing, man?
No, that's not a setup for an ironic joke, that's actually played completely straight. There's like several layers of unfunniness to this.
Oh my gosh, that is
Number 2.
so funny.
There's also this really weird subplot involving the parents
and trying to win over a doctor or something like that? I don't know. I forgot how it went down.
Even Stepanek can save this.
When the writing is so bad, your only talented actor can't salvage how bad it is with his performance. That's how you know you screwed up, man.
Issues, get your farts out now.
Ew. Ew.
Oh my gosh, that is...
I'm gonna...
Guys, I need a moment. I need a moment. What did I just... What? Guys, what did I just witness? What is this? Is this what I've dedicated my free time to? I work 50 hours every week. I only get weekends off. Every afternoon, I spend it exhausted, sitting on a couch and watching television and whatnot. And when I don't, this is what I get paid to analyze?
Oh my gosh, that is...
I'm gonna start...
Times like these, they really make you want to sit down for a moment, drink some water, and rethink what you are doing with your life. Bit by bit. You think about exactly what led to the fact that I'm analyzing this disgusting, uninspired, unfunny, ridiculous moment and everything that amounted to it. Tails, this is the straw that broke the camel's back, guys. Good God. Yeah, I'm having a midlife crisis on stream, Tails. What? Moving on.
Are keeping a tally for everything remotely fetishy in this show at this point. There's far too many coincidences for them to just be one-off gags. It's also during this subplot where Lynn and Rita decided they need a family doctor as they don't want to try their luck at affording healthcare in today's economy. And we then get...
Yeah, good luck with that in the United States.
Entire 10-second slow motion sequence with a romantic song playing in the background for the most 5 out of 10 man I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, why you gotta diss a man like that? He's just here for the paycheck.
While Lynn and Rita presumably fall in love with him. Like, hey, I'm not gonna judge, but like... better standards, maybe? Like, they spend the rest of the episode awkwardly trying to get him to be their doctor.
I think all they care about is the fact that he's a doctor. Not, you don't gotta read too hard into it, Toonshi.
Rita channels her family's lineage of incest to use the least charming southern accent I've ever heard. Yes, I said lineage of incest.
What?
In the Loud House movie, all of the Loud's ancestors died as children during the medieval era. A time where royal inbreeding was standard practice. So
I mean, do you really gotta interpret it that way, my guy? Can't you just say that all the Louds descended from one of them? Like, them dying as children is one thing, which is pretty questionable as is, now that I think about it, but... You know what? Never mind. I'm reading too much into it.
What do you imply from that? The Loud's ancestors just casually hooking up with men possibly over a decade older than them?
Yep, you are... Tunchi, don't encourage anything more. Don't encourage anything more out of this fandom. It's already disgusting as is. Thank you very much.
Or inbreeding. Yeah, when you look at those interpretations, this little oversight is a tad bit yikes.
Yeah. It would have been so easy to just make the ghosts adults and leave it at that, but I guess for the sake of the kids watching being able to identify the ghost, I don't know, man.
The whole episode is the definition of uncomfortable. It's almost the same vibes I got from Arnold portrays Iggy, but with more of a comedic edge to it, in massive quotations of course. There is then a scene where Lincoln's pants are stripped down so the doctor can wrangle his butt pimple.
Tails, I'm about to have another midlife crisis, here and now. What?
You are fucking sick. And right after this, the camera pans all the way down, puts Lincoln's ass front and center of the screen. I don't know if I can even describe it.
Oh, gosh. What has my life become, man? What has my life become?
This without being flagged. This is up there for one of the most shameful, uncomfortable fucking moments I have ever seen from a children's show. This wouldn't be as bad if it were animated. Plenty of cartoon characters are animated in their undies after all, but
yeah.
This is a real child.
Making
a child actor
real human
fucking,
people do this.
Oh my god. I don't want to insinuate anything about the people behind the show. They could have just simply thought it was funny. But
it wasn't. Not even close. What? No respectable writer, producer, executive, or whatever in the right mind would ever think this is genuinely funny. Like, how out of touch are you with good comedy, any semblance of genuine artistic?
I personally
moving
think
on.
Including fart gags, brutal humiliation, and this.
You know what? Being canceled after 2 seasons, that was too merciful, man.
In a kid's show and acting it out with real people is indescribably careless, especially given the kind of fans this franchise notoriously has.
As if this fandom wasn't stigmatized enough. They really went out of the way to do this.
So if you don't think this is weird, at least, there is something wrong with you. Dan Schneider can get away with his blatant foot fetish on every show.
You'd think Nickelodeon would have learned from Dan Schneider, but here we are with basically, I don't know who's responsible for this since Sabina already got fired, but like, seriously, somebody, whoever is the executive producer here, please check their hard drive, please.
So he's worked on for Nick for decades. I'd rather.
I'm guessing just terrible ratings, Tracy. I'm guessing that's all there is to it, but to be honest, it deserves worse.
Not let stuff like this slip by personally, even if I'm wrong. God, it gets worse. I fucking hate all of you. Oh, and this pic of Lincoln at the door also gets shared around the school, like...
Also, I don't think it's ever going to get addressed in this video because it only tackles the first 3 episodes. Yeah, Lincoln and Charlie, they do get together eventually, but they don't make it. Because for whatever reason, Charlie moves away, just like Ronnie Ann for whatever reason. Oh my gosh, I'm guessing this character's like a hybrid of Ronnie Ann and Stella, but it's still really dumb. You should have just stuck with Ronnie Ann or Stella. But she moves away. Lincoln tries to surprise her on her birthday. And then, by the time he gets there to a surprise date, she shows up with a new boyfriend. She basically cheats on him. They break up. Like, it's so stupid, man.
Holy God. How do you get away with half of this stuff? We don't get a scene where Mr. Beast invites Lincoln onto
Mr. Beast.
a sitcom to talk about his humiliation. No, this is not a setup for an ironic joke. This is played completely straight.
No? He's straight. This 12-year-old kid straight up... Rusty straight up has his own talk show. School-funded talk show on campus for whatever reason.
It's asked to be here to improve his image, only to realize he's just being brought on to get embarrassed more. Luckily, Lincoln uses this opportunity to give the generic speech of not judging people for who they are, and like...
Yeah. A moral we've never seen anywhere at all in any semblance of media. Totally unique, totally refreshing.
Good message, you know? Like, it's just severely...
It's a good message, it's just really cliche.
Really undercut by how shit everything...
And also the awful writing, but that's besides the point here.
...else is. By the way, I thought these little talk shows and interviews were for the school, but apparently the dilemma of this preteen boy wearing a fucking diaper is being watched by Times Square and the United Nations.
Also,
this is so
the Photoshop in that one moment, it's so bad, bro. I don't know what to tell you guys. what? It's bad. It's bad. It's awful. It's keep playing it.
And I'm more so laughing at the low production value rather than the idea itself. I love that they just grabbed a random crowd cheering green screen.
Wait, I found the exact one they use. They did. I'm not even kidding, guys. I could download this myself and put this in my videos, free of charge. Like the fact that a multi-million-dollar company just ripped a green screen off of YouTube with oh my.
YouTube slapped it onto a video.
How lazy is this production, bro? It's almost infuriating.
Put into the perspective, I don't expect good effects from Nickelodeon, but you couldn't even be bothered to pay a bunch of extras to just start cheering at the screens. Oh, and after all of that, Lincoln gets cucked at the end by Mr. Beast and spends the rest of his day in a grave with the rest of his family, where they shall never be unearthed ever again.
At least we wish they did. Wait, what am I looking at? Like, I don't know. How obscure is it, Pixel? You know what? Let's find out. I don't know what the frick I'm looking at, but let's see. Crowd cheering green screen. Let's see how easy it is for us, or at least for me. No. Oh, I found it. It only took me 10 seconds to find an asset that a multi-million-dollar corporation used in public television. I just want you guys to process that for a moment. Just take a moment to process that. Like, if the idea was that this effect, this green screening, was so obscure that nobody would find it, and I found it in, like, what, 10 seconds? They did not even try. They did not even try. It would have been so easy to cast some, like, get a shot of Times Square, cast some extras, that's it. Green screen the extras, but no, even, like, this production value is so lazy, it's cheaper than even my videos. May the blood on your sword never dry. I have no idea what this is referencing, my boy. I get what you're trying to say, but I have no idea what this is referencing.
I'm done. I am never touching this franchise again.
Please don't.
Unless I find the idea funny. Hope you enjoyed. I don't care that there are
I
going
did
to be more
enjoy.
episodes
I
after
did
this.
enjoy, my
I am
dude.
never touching this again. Hope you all have a good evening, and if you're under the age of 18, interested in an acting career, and get spotted by a Nickelodeon executive...
Run away.
Run.
But that's that, guys. That is that. That is what? 3 out of 5 Toonchi videos that we've watched so far? And oh, it's a Doom reference. Okay. But oh my goodness, it is so much worse than what I remembered. Because keep in mind, guys, this show got canceled like what? A year ago? Like late 2024. Like I said, the finale was a Thanksgiving special from like, I want to say last year. I don't remember exactly. Like, okay, let's put on the music while I'm talking. All I know is, guys, yeah, this show, it deserved to get canned for all the reasons that we basically discussed. There was a couple of plot lines that I liked here and there, but keep in mind, 2 seasons, 90% of it was really forgettable, really boring, not funny, uninspired. Like, I don't know how better, what can I say that hasn't already been said? It's awful, and I think most people would agree. Like, it's honestly a big shame, but because like I said, I'm willing to bet that some of these actors were thinking, wow, this is my big break. Wow, this is my way to make it through the industry. But the fact of the matter is, this is stuck on your resume. This show is notoriously awful, and it's just... Didn't it get canceled? Like, it was basically their season 2 finale, but it was just a run-of-the-mill Thanksgiving episode. It wasn't like a farewell or treated like more conclusive in any way. Just, hey, a Thanksgiving special. I don't know. Like, I remember the plot being something like, hey, Lola has to do this presentation with a turkey for a pageant, but they're actually going to kill the turkey, so they have to save it. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Unfortunately, I will say, these actors, they deserve better. Like, I can't think of any performance that's like, oh my gosh, never hire this kid again. But at the same time, this being cast here, it's not doing them any favors. Like, I wish them the best in the future, especially how difficult the acting industry is, especially in Burbank and whatnot, but oh my goodness, man. Let's watch the movie review next. What, the live action one or just the Netflix one? And also, guys, Nick, are you in chat, my dude? Because if you're here, we may as well start watching this like you asked. Okay, how long is it? 25 minutes? Okay, how long have I been streaming? Now that I think about it. Only an hour and a half. It's actually disheartening because they seem like really sweet people when I saw the behind the scenes with them. Yeah, just look it up, guys. I'm not talking out of my butt. Just look it up, guys. Really Loud. Just look up Really Loud House behind the scenes. And honestly, a lot of these actors, they seem like they're having a lot of fun. At least in the set and whatnot. Like, seriously, just watch these. Like, you can just tell. Like, this is why I like behind the scenes footage and whatnot. It just really humanizes the people you're watching on the screen. They're not just there to give a performance. They're there to basically work, bond with the people they're working with. Like, and you know how it goes. The Netflix one, both. You know what? Just to change up the pace a little, Tracy, let's watch the Netflix one. Like, I don't know, guys. It's been about a year and a half since I last saw this movie. And I will agree, most of it doesn't hold up, but there's a couple things I liked. Anyways, let's see what Tunchi has to say about it, just out of curiosity. The ever so cynical homeboy. All anger used in this video is for comedic emphasis and is not genuine because if you are genuinely mauling over a kid's film, you need actual help. Yeah.
I did it. I gave the Loud House movie a chance. Not because I was genuinely interested in the movie whatsoever, because believe it or not, I do have
like every creator out there, we just do it for the content, man. I get it.
For somewhat functioning social life outside of ranting about children's shows for an extensive amount of time, but primarily because I got a lot of requests to review this specific movie after I made my video on the decline of the Loud House. And that video did well, so let's just see how this goes.
Yeah. Loud House is single-handedly paying your bills, my guy. You could say the same for me. My most popular videos out there, except for one, are all Loud House related.
Loud House movie is not very good.
No.
Controversial statements only on this channel. That's the end of the video. Go away. I banged your mother. Scattershot attempts.
Hey, yo.
Of being funny aside, I can say that this movie sort of ticked off every expectation I could have had for it. Obviously not in a good way, but I was surprised by how not surprised I was by them choosing to do everything in the most cookie-cutter Loud House way. And I mean, at the end of the day, this is a movie for kids. It's a show for kids, I understand that. But there's a reason why there was a large adult fan base for the show in the first place, aside from
I don't think that has to do anything with, you know what, I'm gonna let him talk.
After them being potential sex offenders, and at the end of the day, it is still a movie written by adults. And if they seriously think a film of this quality is fine to shovel out to kids with practically zero regards for their intelligence, I'd say it's fair game. And it's also free publicity from me anyway. If people on this website can rant about a show that's actually intended for preschoolers—
Oh my gosh, and I thought I had a battle with the Louds. People actually review Peppa Pig unironically? I get your money's worth. I hope.
So I don't see how this is much different. You'd have to be an idiot not to take this opportunity, trust me. Anyway, the Loud House movie is a painfully predictable, unfunny, poorly animated trash heap that sits at the bottom of the decline of what was once a very promising return to form for its rather troubled network.
Then again, they didn't publish it themselves. They had to be produced by Netflix.
Oh, and here's garbage. Garbage, damn it! Have you ever wanted to give me money? I shall rephrase accordingly.
Okay, this video is like 3 years old, guys, so I don't see the point in seeing the advertisements for his Patreon. Maybe it's still active, but it's this advertisement is outdated.
I need the money.
Money.
That clip from The Incredibles.
With an admittedly sweet—
Chica's gonna vibe in the background to dodge Viacom's copyright and just okay, that's why I keep seeing the Chica like 24/7.
montage showing how the Louds' parents Lynn and Rita first met, as well as showing the Louds growing up over time.
Okay, yeah, I will say this, and I've said it once and I'll say it again. Opening song, the best song in the movie, although the bar is not really high. I like the montage of them having all their kids, watching them grow up. Like, okay, keeping the spirit of the franchise just by emphasizing its origins, more or less. Also, at retconned Ellis for love, so thank you.
To the present day. It's a rather effective opening despite being rather cliche, and I absolutely dig the song they made for this. It's
Thank you. Okay, it's not just me.
a touching way to welcome people into the movie and a good way to welcome fans of the show. Unfortunately, the movie begins after that. We cut to the present day with Lincoln teaching Lily.
And like I said in my best episodes video, the bond between Lincoln and Lily. The bond between the only male in the family and the youngest sister. It works.
How to survive in a big family now that she's getting older. Insert overused patent pending joke.
Patent pending.
I'm guessing they're
Okay, come on, man. It's just a running gag. It's not that deep, bro.
really trying to make this a running gag, as it's been a thing since the first season, yet it's not really a joke. Just having a character wink towards the camera followed by patent pending has the substance
Okay, sometimes they don't even look at the camera, man.
of a Big Bang Theory episode. It's sort of comparable to that thing a lot of kids' movies do where they'll reference something
It also retconned Lori looking like Pinhead Larry as a baby. I mean, to be honest, Nitro, that visual always did bother me a little. Like, to some people it's funny, but to me it was just uncomfortable, so I'm kind of glad. I'd say good riddance.
popular as a replacement for writing talent.
Don't lady check her Twitter.
As in, you're literally saying a thing and hoping it makes someone laugh. That's not humor. There's a reason why I'm stopping myself to complain in
Like, dude, it's just a running gag. It's like saying, hey, where's Perry? And getting a small chuckle out of it. It's not expected to be anything groundbreaking in terms of humor, man. Like, it's not that deep, bro.
detail about this dumb joke in a kids movie because the overall film is rather annoyingly smug with how confident it is. Every joke in this film has to be some like massive smugly delivered zinger in the same vein as a modern Gearbox title. It's not the usual lazy kids writing, although that is still present in Vomit and
We still got plenty of that.
amounts. It will even sometimes have jokes that can work with just a tiny bit of subtlety despite the inherent immaturity, but will then get ahead of themselves and just shout the joke in your face anyway.
Duking.
Right in front of us? You know we have our own bathrooms now.
You're just shouting the joke at people. Fucking Bazinga. Again, movie for kids, but kids deserve better.
Okay, I feel like he's definitely exacerbating the humor here. The attempts at humor here. Like, okay, it's not that funny, but it's not that bad either, man.
My 4-year-old sister didn't laugh at this, not even at the slapstick. It's just bare
I don't think your 4-year-old sister even understood what they were saying, but that's just me, though.
bones. Anyway, Lincoln finishes indoctrinating the youngest in the family, and they both put the plan into action. Very funny slapstick happens. Lily pulls a burrito out of her shitty diaper and Lincoln—
Oh my gosh, people in chat have actually mentioned this. Yeah, that's very concerning. It was literally in her. Never mind. Can I even say it out loud without getting demonetized? It's all I can really say.
Lincoln starts eating it, and I feel watching the scene is
Like, bro, at least rinse the burrito, something, man. It was literally in her.
put me on a watch list of some kind. Also,
Yeah.
all of the Loud Sisters have their own activities for the day, which is something that has been dealt with before in the show without an issue. But then suddenly Lynn and Rita start having a visible spurg in front of their kids, reminding me that they once threw their son out of the house for believing he was bad luck, and subsequently reminding me that these are two of the worst parents I've ever seen animated.
Like, it's honestly, it's very aggravating how inconsistent their bad parenting and their good parenting are. Because sometimes they really know what they're doing, but other times they're the freaking worst.
Jesus Christ, they're insufferably incompetent. You wish they'd get a grip most of the time. Calling Lynn a wet blanket is too generous of a term, because as far as I'm concerned, the blanket is sitting at the bottom of the Atlantic. Lincoln being the only character.
All right, hold on, guys. Thought I heard something in the
In the
background.
room with an IQ above room temperature proceeds to effectively organize all of her sister's activities. The kid is 12, which is very impressive.
Like, to be honest, why is he the one organizing all these activities? Genuine question. Like, why is the 12-year-old middle child just organizing all these activities? Just because protagonist, I guess? I don't know what they're trying to go for here.
And I'm mentioning this for a reason. We'll get
Sorry, Frost. It's just there was someone at the door, so I had to check it real quick.
back to it. We have a montage of the Louds doing their activities. Luna's girlfriend shows up for about 2 seconds, but
No speaking lines, still dead weight, still no personality, still the biggest waste of space this franchise has ever seen. Moving on.
because Nick wants to make sure you understand that gay people don't just get sold away to the Shadow Realm once they've outlived their
She basically may as well have, bro. She basically may as well have.
usefulness, and all of the girls receive awards up the ass for being slightly above average in all of their tasks, except for Luann, who has probably bought out the theater for this praise given how shit she is at this, and all's well that ends well. So
Alright, okay, sometimes this... Okay, guys, I will say this. Sometimes Tunchi needs to lighten up a little. I know this video is like 3 years old, but he needs to lighten up a little sometimes.
Far you could say this movie isn't so bad, but this scene specifically is where shit royally hits the fan.
I'm glad they retconned it. We also had Clyde simping over her baby pictures in one of the early seasons, which is down horrendous. Oh gosh. I kind of remember it, but at the same time, I guess like it's really easy to interpret that the wrong way, Nitro, and I don't think they were going for it for that kind of idea whatsoever.
Clouds are out celebrating and suddenly,
like for example, like a guy saying his wife looks adorable when she was a baby. Like I think that's what they were going for.
They're
more
just
or less.
hounded by people at the restaurant who want to take photos of them because in this movie the Loud Sisters are celebrities now.
In some ways, I don't know what they were going for here.
What the?
Like, okay, a whole family of sisters and they're all talented at something, but does this really warrant fame across the whole town? I don't know.
Why? That was never a thing. Why is Luann a celebrity for telling knock-knock jokes? This feels
paid actors.
It's like a very shoehorned idea just to set up Lincoln's insecurity and feel.
Okay, to be fair though, as far as that whole song is concerned, like the flyers around town with all the sisters, I feel like that's just more or less in his imagination, or it's basically just a prop for the musical number. I don't think it's meant to be entirely literal in the realm of the narrative. Know what I mean?
Celebrating, and suddenly they're just hounded by people at the restaurant who want to take photos of them because in this movie the Loud Sisters.
That is true. Okay, you know what? I more or less I take back what I said. Why are they all
are celebrities now?
Come to think of it, yeah, the premise is a little forced.
What the pussy?
Why? That was never a thing. Why is Luann a celebrity for telling knock-knock jokes? This feels like a very shoehorned idea just to set up Lincoln's insecurity and feel
kind of like Luna and Sam's entire relationship. I regret nothing.
Of inadequacy compared to his sisters because, well, of course, his sisters are famous somehow. That was never a thing. That is a plot point that has been pulled out of a hat. You can say they've just suddenly become famous after
like, okay, Lynn being a top athlete, okay, that does get you some fame around town, especially in a small town like, say, Royal Woods. But again, the world building is so flimsy. Like, how big of a town is Royal Woods, to say the least?
Gigs from a minute ago, but that makes it even more embarrassing because they've done all these things before and have succeeded and have gotten practically no amount of praise close to this collective circle jerk. This film is also apparently canon in whatever.
Confirmed that the film is canon to the series as it is chronologically set between seasons 4 and 5. And yet, where the hell is Lenny's relationship with Scott after the fact? Yep, after the movie, we never see Scott again. Lenny moves on to another guy. We never saw how they broke up. We never... Moving on.
The kind of continuity this Nickelodeon show has, by the way. Sam is here, which makes something like this a surprise.
Meanwhile, Sam is still there, even in season 9.
But it's not a very good one because you've taken an unexpected shit on my plate, yes, but
oh my gosh, can I show that without getting demonetized?
I ordered a salad. Jesus, there are billboards and posters of them. Who did you buy off, you talentless Link?
Like, it's one thing when you want to take this angle for Lincoln's character development, take this approach to Lincoln's character development, but the basis for it, for the most part, it does feel kind of forced. Like, okay, Lola being a pageant star, Lynn being a star athlete, okay, those kind of ideas, they do warrant fame, but the rest of them, there really isn't much.
Lincoln then gets completely thrown out of the photo and his parents couldn't give a toss, so at least that's consistent. It was at this point that I thought Lincoln was going to have an actual heartwarming character moment and I waited in anticipation. And then as I was watching, I noticed that my ears had begun to bleed a little bit.
Yeah, this one song, I forgot what it was called. Like, you can smell the auto-tune from a mile away.
Which I found to be a tad odd. As it turns out, I had not mentally registered or taken in the fact that he had started.
This is one of the few rare times where I'm really glad that Lincoln got recast, because his singing, this kid's singing voice, I mean no disrespect to the kid, but his singing voice needs some work.
Started fucking singing. With little...
Damn.
Plain levels of autotune. It is audible vomit. It sounds like it's coming out of a synthesizer sphincter. By the way, this movie is a musical. Yes.
Yeah.
Why not? Oh, cartoon-she, I hear you saying. Yes, I can hear you. Just roll with it. It's only 4 songs. This movie...
I mean, the first one, like I said, it's actually really good, but the rest of them... Can't say much else.
Is an hour and 10 minutes long and has 4 songs scattered every 20 minutes. Okay, musical is too broad a term, but it's close enough, and I have to ask...
Why?
The songs aren't good. None of them are. They are an assault on your eyes and ears and will
Like, the only good song is not even sung by the characters, guys. That's how bad it is.
not rest until you have registered the plot progression that is supposed to be happening through them. They play an active role in somehow making this movie worse. This movie did not need to have songs.
It didn't.
Been working on this film since
Except maybe the first, except like I said, maybe the first one, because I thought it was really sweet. I still have it in my Spotify playlist. I'll say that much.
2017. You have had more than enough time to figure out better ways of pushing the plot forward than having Lincoln Loud sing about it. Disney can get away with this because in most
It's crazy how one season later we actually have an episode with decent songs. But to be honest, is it just because the movie set the bar really low? Like, say for Real Woods, guys, say what you will about it. There's a couple problems with it, but for the most part, I'd say the songs are pretty solid. That's just me, though.
their films, well, most of the old ones anyway.
I know you got the best.
That is, I completely forgot about Corella, to be honest, guys.
The songs themselves flow with the plot, they don't feel awkwardly placed, which I know sounds a bit vague, but it becomes obvious when you watch the film yourself. You are making me praise the goddamn mouse, please stop. And as you can probably guess with
It's really bad when Tunchi is unironically glazing Disney. Like, that's how low the bar is with the show, unfortunately. If they are famous, would that mean that the cringe fan art and fanfics are in universe too? I sincerely hope not, Aura. Mary Sue is a unisex term. Gary Stu is a weird term by people hang-ups. Yeah. Either way, when people say when you say Mary Sue, people know exactly what you're talking about. Like, Gary Stu is not that prominent of a term.
Lincoln
to say the
feeling
least.
inadequate, and with the previously gathered knowledge that the Louds are royalty, you can see exactly where this film is going from this point forward. He's going to do something logistically questionable now that he has what he wanted, and he will eventually realize that he's had what he's always wanted all along through the power of family and love. Yada yada yada, fuck you movie. It amazes me that everyone admires Lincoln for his frank.
I mean, is it really that cliche of a pattern? Like, I don't know. Maybe I just don't watch enough movies in general to actually grasp that idea, but that's just me.
Godlike organizational skills, which takes a surprising amount of intelligence, yet no.
I will never get why I watched this movie during my first watching season 1 midway through the season. Yeah, to be fair, Luna, they don't really make it clear at what point you should be watching this. Like, if you just happen to be scrolling through Netflix and you see this, yeah, they don't really tell you where in the show's timeline this takes place. You actually have to do outward research. So yeah, don't blame yourself for the confusion, Luna. Like, that's another problem with the show. The world building, the timeline, the lore, the consistency. It's very inconsistent. Okay, did I even word that properly? I don't know. No Time to Spy was an improvement, but you shouldn't bash the original film because it's not great. It's okay. Yeah. Like I said, personally, I don't have too many problems with it, but I definitely understand most of them.
No one has ever actually shown direct appreciation for this, except for the end of the movie where he vents his insecurities directly. He gets shoved out of a group photo and his parents start bragging about how totally epic their daughters are to complete strangers.
And their son goes completely unnoticed in the process. Yeah, great parenting. 10 out of 10.
Like, Jesus Christ, you loathsome c***s. How do you not see anything wrong with your son's current mental state?
Also, Screw Scoots, a really annoying character.
When he, out of the blue, tries to convince you to remain in Scotland so he can be the freaking Duke later in the story. Oh right, this movie has a story, let's get back to that. So Lincoln starts venting to token black friend number 7, Clyde McBride.
Okay, come on, give Clyde a little more credit than that. He's a very charming character, at least in my opinion.
And compliments his cooking, with Clyde saying in response that his skills in baking.
Wait, has it been established at this point that Clyde is a great baker? Like, it does get tackled later on, but that's like season 6 or season 5. So I don't know, probably.
The family and that his ancestral grandmothers were good bakers, which inadvertently kicks off the actual plot. Don't ask, just fucking roll with it. Because Lincoln wants to find out what his ancestors were.
Yeah, I've said it before, Nitro. Like, the emotions, the character development in No Time to Spy, it's surprisingly solid. You know what, I'm starting to realize I don't need the full screen.
Slapstick DNA test. Turns out they were Scottish and they want to go on a vacation there. No regard for school or potentially important events in the coming weeks, but alright, I'll suspend my disbelief there.
I mean, have you never taken a week off school just to go on vacation, man? Like, I know plenty of families who do that, man. It's not a rare practice.
Won't, however, suspend my disbelief at Lola spending upwards of $10,000 on whitening her teeth because Jesus.
Wait, what?
Suspend my disbelief at Lola spending upwards of $10,000 on whitening her teeth.
I mean, to be fair, she probably makes a lot of pageant money, so I don't know, man. Did you see that Disney has completely removed all Disney, Fox, Lucasfilm, Marvel shows, and movies on Halloween? What, Aura? When did that happen? Ironically, the original film, The Casagrandes, and the upcoming Naughty or Nice has the lead being a selfish prick for the sake of the plot, and they learned the lesson. Yeah, Night Fury, it's become way too formulaic at this point, unfortunately. It's getting really cliched. All the more reason this show has no business going on for as long as it has. 9 seasons, 3 seasons of a spin-off, 2 seasons of another spin-off. Just make it stop, man. You had probably your strongest storyline and probably a potential conclusion for the series in the form of Stella, in the form of white hair. Like, you had so much to work with to wrap things up, but no, Nick needs the money, I guess.
Teeth because Jesus fucking Christ, hiding in the cargo area of and jumping out of a
like, honestly, Pixel, yeah, the fake Myrtle does bother me. Just because it seems like the fake one really bonded with the Loud sisters, but then it turns out it's a fake. So any semblance of emotion or character depth completely undermined.
Fucking plane into France to get a hot air balloon and then coincidentally get a submarine to willingly take them to Scotland. An entertaining montage sequence, but if skydiving was your only option, then skydive out of a plane that is heading to bloody Scotland. Why did you go to Paris? Nothing.
I guess for the tour, I guess as a tourist stop? A tourist detour? I don't know, man. Bro, it's a cartoon. It's not that deep, bro.
Good ever happens in cucking Paris. This film is proof that nothing good ever happens in Paris.
Speaking of shows that have gone on for way too long, how are things going with Miraculous Ladybug? Nah, okay, that's funny, bro. Because that show has definitely, honestly, I kind of hated it from the start, so.
Arrive in England with Orson, and Laurie calls her irrelevant boyfriend only for the phone signal to cut out, which messes with what she's actually trying to say. Wow, I have never heard this joke before, and now there's a subplot involving this horny troglodyte with attachment issues trying to—
Wait, say that again?
Heard this joke before, and now there's a subplot involving this horny troglodyte with attachment issues trying to get to Scotland.
Okay,
is what this movie
come on. Why you gotta disrespect Bobby like that?
Really needed was a scattershot attempt at a funny subplot that's just clunkily thrown into the middle of a few scenes. Woohoo.
Have a nice day, Scott! Hi, Scott! Why are you calling everyone Scott? We're in Scotland.
Back off, ya spooky bitch!
Okay, man, come on. It's an innocent joke. Just, again, I hate to play this card, but it's a cartoon, man. Lighten up a little.
The Louds arrive in Scotland and everyone starts audibly cooming about them being there. Okay, a few things first here.
About 400 years ago, our village...
Fun fact, guys. That groundskeeper, that's Scrooge McDuck. That is straight up the voice of Scrooge McDuck. I forgot his name, but that is the voice of Scrooge McDuck in the DuckTales reboot. Great casting, but it's not enough to save this movie. Not by a long shot, I'll say that much.
I must shed a tear for David Tennant. And
yeah, David Tennant, that's his name.
Second of all, wow, the main characters of a bland comedy show find out they are descendants of royalty or some other famous or powerful thing.
I mean, a boy born with natural white hair, a family of 11. You didn't think there was a little more to it than just excessive procreation, for lack of a better term? Okay, that sounds so wrong out of context.
I can only wonder where this plot may go. You've, been working on this for a while, I think. You had plenty of time to redraft this, just saying. Oh, and yeah, we get another song with—
I mean, to be fair, it did get screwed over by the fact that their creator got fired in the middle of production, but that's besides the point. Yeah, David Tennant, Night Fury.
This one specifically empowering me to blow my fucking brains out, because Tennant cannot sing to save his life, no matter how many millions of dollars they sink into audio.
No matter how talented your voice, no matter how iconic, memorable, or talented you are as an actor, if you can't sing, you can't sing. Just ask The Rock and Moana.
Tune. And the Louds enter the old family castle, which is currently owned by evil Celtic woman, who is angry about the Louds moving in, but feigns gratitude for the rightful heirs, but still visibly wants them to be kicked out. Okay, I see where this is going. Maybe
Yeah. She schemes to get them out, she slanders them. Yeah, you know how it goes, more or less.
The entire trope of a character could actually be flipped on its head through actually clever subversion. No, not that kind. And
no. As interesting as that scene was in The Last Jedi, everything that amounted to it was really stupid. That's all I can tell you.
Instead, it's David Tennant that's the bad guy, and she actually gets a character arc.
Nope.
Bringing myself back down to reality for a sec, everyone is thrilled to stay in the home of their important ancestors.
Would have been a nice twist, but at the same time, I feel like the character is the character I've even has Angus. His name is Angus. I almost forgot his name. He's a little too innocent for, like, I don't know. Sometimes I appreciate the irony, but other times turning this innocent character into doing a complete 180 on such an innocent character, like, I don't know. It's not a fun feeling.
Ancestors, especially Lincoln, as he learns the most important.
Night Fury, don't even get me started on Seth Rogen. Anything Seth Rogen stars in, he nowadays is usually terrible, especially when he's singing. Don't even get me started on his casting as Pumbaa.
Important sibling out of his ancestors was the Duke, and from this point forward, Lincoln's character arc goes on a thrilling adventure into the pits of fucking Tartarus.
The boy in the painting was the Duke. The boy in the painting with the white hair was the Duke. The boy in the painting with the white hair that had 10.
Shut up. Okay, yeah, that is really repetitive.
Hey, you remember the episodes where Lincoln acts like a complete and utter twat that no one likes? Yeah, me neither. I had managed to successfully remove them from my brain until I watched this movie.
I mean, to be fair, it's a relatively different scenario. But yeah, I can see why it feels redundant.
Essentially what they do with Lincoln here, and yes, while he realizes what he does is wrong at the end of the film and ultimately ends up redeeming himself, it's still annoying watching the movie take the absolute worst possible route they could have gone with Lincoln's insecurity. They have
At least, to be fair, they did it better. I can't be too mad at that.
Having him be consumed by that jealousy.
Yeah, or you dodged the bullet. It made a lot of money, but that didn't change it from being a terrible, complete insult to the source material. I'll tell you that much.
And acting like a smug, entitled brat for the rest of the film, as he goes on his conquest to become the ultimate foreign invader of Scotland. Trust me, they don't like those. I live next to them.
And the one
Sometimes I gotta be reminded of the fact that Toonshi is British, guys.
can suck my dick.
Also, there's a dragon here, because Scotland, just like when they were 10
Wait, what?
years late to the Canada jokes.
Is Scotland known for having a lot of dragons, even in mythology? I don't think so, but moving on.
Without getting political, obviously, the writers for this film don't just scrape the bottom of the barrel for Scotland jokes, they've become the bottom of the barrel for Scotland jokes, and I'm gonna scrape it. Violently. David Tennant, because fuck if I care what his actual name is, tells Lincoln that to become the Duke, he has to make life better for the people of Scotland.
Basically become a politician. And a good one, as oxymoronic as that might sound.
Ah, yes, that's totally how it works. Scots will absolutely accept an American if he helps out here. They love that. Don't you agree, David?
I mean, at least he descends from their royal lineage? I don't know what to make of this, man, if I'm being honest. Yeah, this film has problems. To the surprise of nobody. It still doesn't explain why he and his ancestors still have white hair. Is it a genetic mutation? I'm guessing it's like the brand of the Exalt in Fire Emblem. Like, the family is just born with it and it spawns eventually, or you're already born with it. Like, I don't tend to question that kind of stuff. Maybe it's because I play too much of that franchise.
He fucking don't.
Lincoln then translates this as forcing his culture on foreigners and replacing their books with his own. Oh boy, this joke is going to get me in trouble. Now, before we progress through the plot of this piece of shit, it's about time we bring up the loud house inflation art the size of an elephant in the room. The animation.
What? Wait, say that again?
Piece of shit. It's about time we bring up the loud house inflation art the size of an elephant in the room.
Inflation? What a sentence, my boy. What a sentence.
The animation. It's not good. Not acting like the original show was a masterpiece of animation or anything, but if you watch an episode of the show and then compare it to the multiple scenes in this movie, something is
it's definitely different.
Clearly wrong here. One thing I'll continue to praise about the show is that it does the best it can with its character designs and overall comic book aesthetic. It doesn't do anything too crazy, but it looks fluid.
Oh, why'd you have to show this episode, man?
And the tweening feels natural. The Loud House movie, on the other hand, tries to take a more cinematic approach, which isn't a bad thing inherently, but what the ass is this? It's like they tried to hand draw the animation and halfway through just tweened it up the wazoo. This doesn't feel natural. Lincoln feels strangely off model.
Like, it definitely feels like it's withering away too much from the original style, and that was part of the series' charm originally. I get it.
Like he's being rigged, but at the same time not. I'm not an animator, obviously, but for a film that was intended to be a theatrical release, this is nowhere near acceptable. The character movements are fluid in some scenes, but the second they try being more ambitious, they get very choppy. I don't know if it has something to do with interpolation or what, but it's like Adobe Animate was having a fucking stroke while rendering half the scenes.
Yeah. It definitely feels like later seasons of let me put it this way, later seasons of Fairly Odd Parents, where I forgot what engine they're using now, but apparently it's like free to software they were using, And apparently it shows. I forgot what it was called, man.
God forbid they tried to put these characters that were not designed with a 3D space in mind in a 3D space.
That is a very jarring angle, to say the least.
That's a tasty frame rate right there. I'm not saying they didn't try, they clearly did, but the walrus who fell ass over tit trying to prove they could walk on their hind flippers still fell...
Say that again from the top.
They tried to put these characters that were not designed with a 3D space in mind in a 3D space. That's a tasty frame rate right there. I'm not saying they didn't try, they clearly did, but the walrus who fell ass over tit trying to prove they could walk on their...
The walrus who fell... What a sentence, bro. Where does this guy come up with his dialect? I need to know.
Their hind flippers still fell ass over tit in the process. Also, what are you doing in my house? It certainly doesn't help that the key moment where I noticed this was a problem occurred at the same time Lincoln began singing again. This song...
Yeah, that one song, I forgot what it was called. I'm Gonna Be the Duke, that's where it definitely sticks out. And I mean that in the worst of ways.
Somehow worse than the previous two, not because of the beautiful vocals, but because of the actual music. Try and focus on this MIDI-produced sewage.
I guess in some ways, Aura, yeah, you would expect the plot to be... You expect the characters' roles to be a little reversed, like the sisters, the ones being caught up with the... I guess.
I used to feel like a nobody, cause my sisters always...
Yeah, copyright, thanks.
Oh right, I can't do that. It sounds like such an artificial song, like a Kids Bop cover of Gangnam Style. This isn't even the worst...
Gosh. Is Kids Bop still a thing, guys? Gosh, I really wish it was. I really wish it isn't.
Song in the movie. Oh god, don't force Tennant to sing.
You help out other people, don't just do it to be in the spotlight.
Like, I'm sorry, that tempo, that beat, the whole genre of... Never mix David Tennant and pop. That's all I can tell you, man. It just... The accent, his mannerisms, his tone, his dialect, and none of it matches it. Please.
I've become a little introspective while I've been writing this, and I think I know how to best enjoy the songs in this movie. You see, if you set yourself on...
Like, honestly, maybe, Aura, they could have gone with something a little less generic than a dragon, to say the least.
Fire.
I burst into dance for a tourist?
Tourists.
Lincoln has another moment of being a selfish noodle and tries to convince his parents to stay in Scotland under the guise of it being for his own benefit.
And the dumbest part is the parents agree.
Fits.
Patent pending.
Shut up. I don't really care that Lincoln realizes this is wrong at the end of the film because it still doesn't excuse what is really poor writing for someone we're supposed to sympathize with. Lincoln feeling inadequate in comparison to others is something a lot of people can relate to, and it's fine to have him do something morally questionable and then realize it's wrong at the end.
But the fact of the matter is, they've done this over and over and over again. It's not like with other shows where it's a formula. It's just too infrequent for it to be a formula, but it's frequent enough to the point where it's tiresome. Know what I mean?
But to have him be this unlikable is not helping his case.
And also, he's behaving very unlikable, like he says.
Again, silly movie for kids, but I can think of plenty of silly movies for kids that can at least write a decent character arc that doesn't make you hate the main character, like the reasonable parents they are sometimes. Lynn and Rita
more often than not, but when they're not, it's really problematic.
Jack Lincoln's idea of moving to Scotland.
Go back home to our house with one bathroom.
We're moving to Scotland.
That's all it took?
I hate you. By the way, everyone in the room calls Lincoln out for trying to be the Duke, and Lincoln reiterates that moving to Scotland would be beneficial for everyone, before then bringing up the bathroom comment.
I mean, it's not... Is it really manipulation when they're just being that dumb? When they're not behaving realistically, to say the least? I'm not agreeing with it, but that's besides the point.
If you want to manipulate someone, you should first make an unreasonable request, wait for the person to reject you, and then follow it up by a more reasonable request. Oh, by the way, I got sidetracked.
Yeah. Everyone goes to WikiHow to learn to become manipulative. No, I'm kidding, man. You're making a point. Keep talking.
With the rant on the animation from a minute ago, but Lucy manages to summon a ghost of her ancestor, a character that is introduced and then disappears for the rest of the film until they're needed for plot convenience. And I mean, like, very heavy plot convenience. Well, I mean, heavy for this film anyway, it's not Metal Gear Solid 2. She is literally a plot device, and they didn't really consider any methods of disguising that. She's just...
Lucy summons her, she disappears, right before the climax, she starts talking, she shows up again.
Just brought back into a scene at the end of the film, and it's really awkward. Anyway, so Lincoln finally invades Scotland, and we get the schizophrenic recreation of the show's intro where the animation falls flat at trying to be ambitious again, and the editing was so breakneck you'd think it was handled by a chimp with Parkinson's.
Oh my gosh, what is this shot, bro? What is this camera movement? Oh my gosh.
Then we get a joke that actually made me chuckle as evil Celtic woman walks for about 30 seconds and then screams that she hates the louds and breaks a vocal cord in the process. There's nothing
Wait, I completely forgot that moment. Hold on.
particularly great about
Oh, I wish you could show it, but you know, copyright.
I just thought I'd mention that I found it funny, which is not exactly the highest of praise if you've seen my content, Jesus Christ. Celtic Lucy is summoned into existence again to reveal that the original Louds did try and come back to Scotland, but were driven away by their dragon, as he suddenly deemed the Duke to be unworthy.
Yeah,
also,
it does get
Dragon
kind of
Boy has
boring.
been growing throughout the film, so guess what's going to happen later? It's practically impossible.
History repeats itself, and I don't mean, and not in a fun
He
way.
had 4 years to write this, by the way.
Yeah.
Apparently, the old caretaker of the castle and the
Like, you can only play the we had to fire our creator card so many times.
relative of evil Celtic woman kept a journal and was apparently able to find and be in possession of a gem that could control the Duke's dragon. How? Why? Don't know. Why does this gem exist in the first place, since it makes the dragon perpetually pissed off?
Yeah. You'd think for their first attempt to be somewhat lore heavy, they would at least, especially with 4 years in the writing room, 4 years of production, and you'd think they'd actually put some attention to detail in the lore, but it really isn't there.
Don't know. What did old Aggie have against the Louds? Don't know. At least their great-grandchild has a fucking moat.
Like, okay, 11 people in this big-ass castle. Okay, they might get annoying once in a while, but it's really not that serious. Like, how cranky, how grumpy, how miserable are you?
Did Aggie discover the gem herself, or the old...
Like, okay, if the villain's motivations, they're petty, then that's not a problem sometimes. But you gotta make them funny in the process. Like, she's basically Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove, except she's not funny. Know what I mean? Like, that's my biggest problem with it.
Louds aware of its existence because they clearly don't seem to consider it a possibility. I just don't know. I don't expect much from kids' films, honestly. I'm not upset at any of this. There's just very minimal effort being put into this, and I feel sorry for watching it with my sister. I don't really mind if something for kids is good or bad. I just want them to care, mainly. Plot consistency was...
Like, is it so much to ask for a show, a movie, or whatever that's aimed at kids to also be appealing to the parents or the other people watching with them?
It's not something I was expecting, to be honest, but the film is just...
How many times does it need to be said, guys? When will these higher ups in the industry ever learn? I don't know. At this rate, maybe never.
Agonizingly boring, which is...
Like, that is true, Aura. The ancestors, they did not need to be clones. Like, it would have been so easy to just put some thought, put some detail into the lore.
It's a very subjective take, but it doesn't do anything of note. It's like asking for a semi-decent meal and being served fucking milquetoast that's been set on fire. The fire being this next song. No, not the song.
Don't play it.
The song that...
You're getting copyrighted. You're getting copyrighted. Please don't play it.
It's not what the song is shit. It's the worst one so far. Like, the others I have been able to tolerate without...
It says a lot when the villain song is the worst song of the bunch. Like, when you think Disney, the villain song, usually the best part. Be Prepared, Hellfire, that one song from The Emperor's New Groove that got cut. Really good. But here, it says a lot when the opposite is true.
Cheese grating my ears off, but this song, my god.
I can't even understand what she's saying.
Complete and utter lemming shite. Basically, her plan is to make Lincoln's sisters famous in Scotland like they were back home, which will make Lincoln jealous so he'll ride around town on Dragon Boy, only for the women of Celts to control it and get him in trouble, which will then force him to leave. Like that's ever gonna work. Lincoln is already famous just from being the Duke. That's absolutely no way. Are you baiting me?
Yeah. Forcing it once again.
Firstly, can I just talk about how little of an impact Lincoln...
We also got to watch the Chris Savino interview in the car ride. I think it had like 2 parts, Pixel. You know what? Maybe next stream, actually. I'm kind of down. I just gotta find it in the Wayback Machine. I still have the links, but it takes a while for it to load up. I gotta archive. I gotta download the... You know, should I download it or should I just watch it directly? I feel like it'll be easier for me to download it, but we'll see. I definitely do want to watch it, Pixel, just so you guys get all the intel that I did.
Sisters actually have on this horror film, because it's practically next to none. This is a movie that's exclusively about Lincoln, but along the way, it's like they forgot that the sisters were also main characters. Their main narrative purpose in the film is to show up and be a twat for 5 seconds, which has the potential to be funny, but there's only so many times the writers can use underage girls to tickle their diaper fetish before you want to take an entire bottle of cyanide pills. There's a part of me that thinks they know exactly what they're doing when it comes to the fetish scenes in this film, by the way, because
At this rate, yeah, it happens way too many times to the point where it doesn't feel innocent, man. I don't know who's behind it, especially now that Savino has been gone for a very long time now, so I don't know where exactly to point fingers. All I know is, yikes.
No other explanation for it at this point. Who let Dan Schneider on the writing team? Like at the start of the movie.
Okay, my dude, just because they have a foot shot, it doesn't mean it's Dan Schneider, man. You're allowed to show feet on camera, bro. Like, relax.
You have Lenny get into a relationship with this random guy, which first of all is not nationally accurate, and second of all, it goes nowhere. He's just her boyfriend now, and
also, we never see him again after this. So, yeah. It goes beyond nowhere. Meanwhile, Luna and Sam, still together. Them getting together makes no sense. Their friendship makes no sense. They have no chemistry, but nah. They're Nickelodeon's golden child. But I've said enough about that.
Times. It's like they had ideas for what to do with the sisters, but they were kept on some kind of leash in the unlikely event that one of them took a fucking risk. They must have
Wait, say that again?
do with the sisters, but they were kept on some kind of leash in the unlikely event that one of them took a
This was the last time they took a major risk, and it was 4 years ago. Yeah, and it still didn't pay off.
fucking risk. There must have been a moment of crisis in Brian Robbins' office at the time. Oh shit, someone almost did something different, Brian exclaimed before aiming his rifle at the man's family. What the hell am I talking about? Oh
Yeah, what
I
are you
get that
talking
writing,
about?
Like 10 other characters besides the protag is a difficult job, no doubt, but don't pretend like the sisters aren't important to the heart and soul of the show. They should be involved more of the plot so that I don't get the urge to club a baby seal when Lynn gets a second of screen time to herself. Because
Oh my
just having
gosh.
them in the film doing nothing for them.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Lynn sucks, but damn.
Majority of their scenes just means they could have been cut out to give the main plot more time to breathe because they waste so
Yeah. Scott, gone. Gavin, gone. River, I don't know what they're doing with him, but they're probably gonna botch it too.
much space in this rather miserable plot that they could reset to a quarter of the refugees from Afghanistan there. Okay, rant
Hey,
over. Second
yo.
of all, Lincoln has literally everything he could ever want right now, including fame, so I don't see why he's so ready to make his sisters feel completely inadequate, you petty—
Look, honestly, it bothers me that they didn't even think about what he's leaving behind in Royal Woods. Like, he has friends, he has a whole group of friends who really care about him, and vice versa. Clyde, Stella, Rusty, Ronnie Ann, even Ronnie Ann in Great Lakes. Is he just gonna stay there, basking in his power without even thinking about them? Like, you're never gonna see them again, dude, if you commit to this. So, and the fact that it doesn't even get addressed, like, that really bothers me, man. Like, it's one problem I've said time and again is a big problem with the show. It's so easy for the writers and whatnot to undermine any semblance of a legitimate connection, and it's honestly really depressing.
Your parents were lying, you were absolutely adopted. So because characters are hard to write, Lincoln hypocritically tries to steal the spotlight from his sisters who have been performing for like a few minutes tops. The animators decided to take a break from trying, and every prediction you could have had for the plot happens as Celtic woman controls—
Nitro, that's a spoiler for season 9. You might want to look into it. You might want to look into it yourself because I don't want to spoil it for you. But yeah, I will say this. Apparently, from what I've been told, Lenny and Gavin broke up off screen.
a dragon who destroys several parts of town. Am I rushing through this? No, there's like 20 minutes of the film left. I'm not kidding. Pacing be damned. Luckily, the damage is relatively minimal. So despite it looking really fucking stupid on Lincoln's part, it can be easily fixed with no loss to the town.
We lost everything.
You lost a chip shop. Lincoln starts sulking over how much of a twat he is.
Like, I get that you value your chip shop, man, but don't exaggerate.
And his sisters come to tell him that he isn't a twat and say they'll fix the town together. But Lincoln gives up the crown anyway to bask in his twattiness. The Louds are forced out—
Wait. Twattiness? That's a word?
out of Scotland, and Celtic woman finally takes the crown for herself, and the crowd cheers for her getting rid of the foreigners. This is actually accurate, but David Tennant—
I don't know much about the Scots, but I guess in this kind of context, they would not take lightly to foreigners, I guess.
is quick to call her out since it was never agreed that she'd have the crown, and some people begin to question her. It was at this point that the writers realized they only have about 10 minutes of movie left, so try to put yourself in this woman's shoes and guess what she does next. I'll give you some time. Time's up. Obviously, the intelligent decision is to start destroying the town that you wanted control of.
Yep. Of course. Of course. The moment... God, this villain sucks, man.
I see no flaws in this logic. I'm 6 pages into the script without many gag edits. Oh, I know.
Will they stand for it? Imposter!
Anyway, Scottish Lucy pops into existence again to tell the lads the truth, and they go to stop the Celtic bitch.
So what would have happened if this pointless plot device just suddenly decided to not be pointless?
And by combining all of their skills being in quotation marks.
Luna, I don't like the design in general. Like, Morak's design is just... ugh. Lenny breaks up with so many off-screen, just as bad as Gojo getting off... Wait, isn't Gojo the guy with the pink hair? I don't know a lot about Jujutsu Kaisen, man. Hold on. Oh no, that's a white-haired guy. Okay, never mind.
It's because
maybe I'm thinking of something else.
And is present in this scene. They attempt to stop her. The animators take another break from trying, and then we have the climax of the film with a scene that actually shocked me.
Dragon.
In a bad way, I'm assuming?
Obliterate this
Oh, I wish. What happens instead is that Lily grabs the jewel, Dragon...
At the very least, there's some continuity. Like, early in the film, he teaches Lily some sort of bait and switch magic trick. She does the same to the staff with a burrito. I'm like, okay.
Back under control, and Clip Person... fucking Clip Person. Celtic Person is then left on an island to die, and Lincoln finally ties up its clusterfuck of a character arc by making David Tennant the Duke.
With the power vested in me...
Lad, no.
By the Royal Loud family...
No, Lincoln, I can't.
I dub thee...
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Cartoonshi's first ever Doctor Who reference. It will never happen again. Lincoln apologized.
Funnily enough, David Tennant did play Doctor Who at some point.
And is given comfort by his family, conflict resolved, about fucking time. Also, all of the previous Louds come back despite not being summoned, but at this point I don't care. They repair the town and the Louds leave for Royal Woods, being the final nail in the coffin that proves the Loud House's quality control is an absolute clusterfuck. Well, this movie sucked. Again.
And the sad thing is that this was before season 5. Canonically. It was in 2021, which is around what, season 6? But yeah, the decline in quality, it really shows. Even when they try to go back to their roots, it shows, man.
And kids movie, right? I can't fault it on some things, but I had a lot of people asking me to make
go ahead, man, fault it.
This video, so I thought I might as well. Also, partly because I think this film precisely nails why doing the bare minimum for kids' entertainment should not be the norm. Not just to satisfy losers like myself, but also because kids simply deserve better films than this. Again, I watched this with my sister.
I will say this, guys. If I ever have kids, I'm not introducing them to this show. It doesn't seem like they're ever going to get their act together. Like, there are so many questionable moments, so many questionable ideas, and when there isn't, it's mostly just slop. So, yeah. If I ever have kids, which hopefully someday I will, it's not happening, bro.
And she was completely bored stiff. I nearly felt
Says a lot when the 4-year-old is falling asleep to this. You know what, Luna? I'm not entirely sure. I was speaking off the top of my head. Let's do the research. I want to say, I know this dropped in 2021 because I remember watching it when it first aired. But let's see. Canonically, in the timeline, or whatever they call a timeline, it was around between season 4 and season 5, but... Okay, let's say late season 5, I want to say. Let's see. Yeah, okay, season 5 lasted for about 1.5 years. It ended in early 2022, so yeah, at some point after season 5, but this is between seasons 4 and 5, so even when they went back to their roots for a moment, it still sucks, man. It's still a yikes. Yeah, too much bad messaging, too many awkward moments, too much fetish projection, for lack of a better term, because like I've said in the past, I can't be too cynical with those ideas anymore.
It wouldn't matter if the movie was devoid of humor because the plot itself is just agonizingly simple. When you watch a Nickelodeon movie that's based on a TV show they have, not those ones,
except for those are already
like
awful.
SpongeBob movie, don't you? That's a movie that kids.
Wait a minute, there was a third one?
Agonizingly simple. When you watch a Nickelodeon movie that's based on a TV show they have,
I thought it was just the first one and there was a summer one? Oh my gosh.
Not those ones, but you usually...
Oh my gosh, Drake Bell, you deserve better than that.
Usually think of something like the SpongeBob movie, don't you? That's a movie that kids and adults alike can enjoy because there was actual effort placed into...
21 years later, I am a grown man over halfway through my 20s, and the SpongeBob movie, still goated, still really funny.
The writing to make it stand out from other animated films with a similar premise, and had way more variety in the joke department than one-liners and that.
Whatever
So
this
whether you
is.
like that film or not, the level of effort cannot be ignored when in comparison to the Loud House movie. You don't need to do something new with
You don't need musicals. You don't need repetitive character arcs. You don't need... You could practically cut the dragon from the whole movie and you really wouldn't miss a thing.
everything ever. Just don't make
There
something
is just so much dead weight that they could have trimmed.
bland or predictable. You don't have to be a particularly enlightened individual to see where this movie's plot is going after the first 15 minutes. And sorry if it seemed like this video is being made without any enjoyment. I didn't really want to review the film, but you guys wanted it, and hey, I thought I might as well do a request for a change. Hope you enjoyed
You're just telling us what you're thinking, man. And there's nothing wrong with that.
the video. It was at least a nice change of pace for me to rip into something for reasons that aren't too complicated, like the writers being completely fucking inept, as opposed to discussing the moral implications of genocide and shows about archaeology. So
Wait, what?
yeah, thanks for watching. Fuck off.
What a way to wrap things up, my boy. I will say this though, guys. At the very least, No Time to Spy was an improvement, but at the same time, the bar was really, really low. Like, the messaging, the animation, the character arc, it feels a little unfinished. Like I said in my best episodes video, there's a couple of elements that I liked. Like, the premise is interesting. Like, it actually okay, looking into the origins of the Loud name, the dynamic between Lincoln and Lily, Lincoln's character arc, I liked it at first, but it definitely went unfinished and it was really botched. Like, I don't know. There's a handful of things I like, but for the most part, I can definitely agree that it's not a good film. What else did this guy do? Let's see. As far as his Loud House videos are concerned, there's only one more we gotta watch eventually. You know what? I gotta write down. You know what? I gotta write down what's next. Because there's a couple of videos I want to react to. Let's see. There's those season retrospectives. One more Toonshi video. Somebody mentioned something else in chat. I forgot. You know what? Let me scroll up. You know what? I forgot what we were mentioning, but... Alright, guys. How long have I been streaming now that I think about it? 2.5 hours? When am I reviewing the really Loud House? I mean, Aura, it's only been 2 seasons, and we more or less already talked about it. And to be honest, I really don't want to rewatch that show all over again, because it's just that bad. There's a couple, like I said, couple plot, not even whole episodes. There's a couple plot elements I actually liked, but I can literally name them with the amount of fingers I have in my hand. Who did the retrospective videos? I forgot his name already. Karate Kid SMW. He did a lot of them, and they definitely, at least as far as the sub count is concerned, this is definitely an above average view count, so I definitely do want to check them out. So I think we're going to check the first one, and then we're going to leave it at that. But first, I got to double check something, because I think I'm expecting some guests later. So give me a sec, guys. I'll be right back. Alright, guys. It's indefinite, it's undefined, but we'll have to wait and see. Like, I don't know. If I end up ending stream so suddenly, guys, don't act so surprised. Let's see. When am I watch this upcoming third movie. Wait, is it a movie or is it just like a 1 hour special, Nitro? I'm guessing it is a movie, and well, like I said, guys, my expectations are not high. That's all I can really say. Would be a great alternate universe dive, an excuse to whip out an alternate starter, I guess. But I don't know what I would talk about, Aura. Like, if I were to make a video talking about the worst episodes, it'd basically be the whole 2 seasons. Basically, more or less. Like, I don't know. It feels like I'm running on fumes as far as content for this franchise is concerned. That's just me, though. But alright. Nick, if you're in chat, and I hope you're here. Otherwise, you can always look at the VOD, man. But yeah, let's look at a Season 1 retrospective by Karate Kid SMW. Can I just call him Karate for short? Let's see.
All right. Alright, so this is it. This is my first attempt at a...
Okay, I'm gonna raise the audio. I'm gonna raise the volume a little bit because it's a little low on his end. Okay, you know what? I do dig the Drifloon with the wig. That's actually really cute.
Video like this, so bear with me if things seem kind of rough. I'm surprised this hasn't been done before, given the size of the fan base and the age of the show. It's been going non-stop for nearly a decade at this point.
Yeah?
So I guess this task ultimately falls onto me. Furthermore, given how often this show is compared to The Simpsons, I felt that something akin to the style of The Real Gems soothed this show very nicely, so I hope I can achieve a similarly relaxed atmosphere. As a fan who loves the show and has seen every episode, I haven't been too happy with the state of the show's reputation online.
I will say this though, his Avi is definitely has a lot more effort than mine because mine is literally just ripped off the Mystery Dungeon games, but him, it's a Drifloon with a wig and all these different expressions. So you know what? Props. Drifloon is a really creepy Pokemon in concept, but hey, I can admire the creativity.
And on YouTube especially, the publicity is not too good. Like, not at all.
Like, no, this show's PR is in the toilet, man.
Most popular videos on the show, especially in the modern day, tend to paint it in a negative light, a far cry from the positive reception it received when it started.
Initially.
Some of the content on the official YouTube channel hasn't helped. If you know, you know. Part of my motivation for starting up this series, aside from providing some high-quality content about the show, is to bring some much...
Okay, if he's not going to have background music, I may as well throw in my own, to be honest, guys. I don't know. Something about people just running their mouths on a YouTube channel, at least on the internet, without music in the background, it just doesn't sit right with me. Is it just me? Maybe I'm being too picky, but anyways, hold on.
Much needed positivity for it. And not just that, but to portray the show as it actually is. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful.
Oh gosh, don't remind me.
So kick back and relax with some snacks, and thank you for joining me as we start on our journey. I'm sure most viewers are familiar with the premise. And
okay, apparently he does have background music.
So
I spoke too
soon.
soon.
On that for long. Some people see this as a golden age season. Some think it's just okay. But one could describe it best as a roller coaster.
I'd say it's above average.
Of a season, loaded with both beloved and loathed episodes. A season that really captures that new show magic. This is the season that brought a lot of people on board.
Yeah,
but
more or less.
What does one mean when one says that something feels like a season 1 episode? What defines this era of the show and that initial Savino influence? Best place to start, as any, would be the typical formula of a season 1 episode. One that really
Is there really a formula though?
Highlights that initial chaotic premise.
Like, people keep saying this show is formulaic, but I never really understood that basis, at least for the first couple of seasons. Like, okay, Lincoln wants something, his sisters get in the way, Lincoln I don't know. Like, these plot lines are not consistent enough to the point where I think there's a formula. It's not like with Phineas and Ferb where it's clear cut. Like, okay, they build an invention, their sister wants to show mom, by the time she gets there, the invention disappears.
It's in the show's theme
like, it's definitely a little too complicated for it to be formulaic. Know what I mean?
After all, being the main protagonist of the series, every episode in Season 1 focuses squarely on Lincoln, with only a couple of exceptions. He's the point of view character through and through.
Savino influence sounds wrong for some reason. Yeah, Erica, we all know why. We all understand exactly why that sounds so... That just doesn't sit right with anyone. If you know, you know.
Typically start with Lincoln in his room or some other part of the house, doing a quick activity that sets up the premise or reacting to a sudden situation. He has a penchant for breaking the fourth wall, quickly talking to the viewer to provide some context as to what's going on. Particularly how certain things work in a big family, from vacations to TV time to even simple chores. Sometimes it's even for an external premise, typically something at school. But it's always Lincoln either wanting something or dealing with some kind of situation involving his siblings. Being the quick thinker he is, he'll typically put some kind of plan into action in order to survive the situation or get an advantage. And even if those plans don't work, he always tries to find a way to fix things. If he's having a selfish moment, he'll realize the mistake he made and go to great lengths to rectify it, often making a self-sacrifice.
Honestly, I don't know if he's not summarizing it well enough, or this formula, quote unquote, is a little too complicated to even qualify as a formula. Know what I mean?
Process, even for situations he didn't cause. But often he'll bookend the episode by giving a similar...
Like, I don't know, every step in every individual plot line, it feels different enough to the point where there really is no formula.
...to the episode's start, but in a way where he's come to terms with what has happened or how he's managed to fix things. A little reflection for the audience on what they have learned together. Granted, it's not all sunshine and roses. Some episodes have their sour endings, often an attempt at comedy gone wrong, but typically episodes end on a positive or funny notes.
Yeah. Sometimes when it ends on a sour note, it's meant to be passed off as funny, and I understand that. Like, just look at SpongeBob's, like certain episodes that just end on a bitter note. Like the episode with the giant worm. It ends with the worm crashing into town and destroying everything, and it's just played for laughs. The episode with the pie bomb. The pie bomb goes off, everyone dies. But it's supposed to be funny. Like, okay, I get it.
Comedy gone
Lincoln getting attacked by a bear. Okay, I guess it's supposed to be funny.
wrong, but typically episodes.
But in a show like this, where the characters are human and it tries to be somewhat grounded in realism, I can definitely understand why people are raising their eyebrows, to say the least.
End on a positive or funny notes. This season was also the start of the rather predictable apology endings that later episodes would be criticized for.
Okay, yeah.
But they aren't nearly as common or would be bookended by some kind of gag. Generally, the show tries to give an Aesop in each episode. Usually well integrated, but sometimes rather forced when they.
What pie bomb episode? The one where Squidward, he buys a pie from some pirates. It turns out it's actually a bomb, and then SpongeBob eats it when Squidward's not looking. And then it turns out SpongeBob's gonna die soon because of it. So Squidward just spends the rest of the day trying to make him happy. But then it turns out he never ate the pie. Remember that? Remember that, Tracy? I think it's just called Pie Bomb. I don't remember exactly what the episode is called.
Aren't needed or when the plot or premise didn't require it. The let people be themselves Aesops of Picture Perfect and Toads and Tiaras are prime examples of the last.
I mean, to be fair, Toads and Tiaras did it better. Picture Perfect, like the messaging is a little too inconsistent. Like the only reason for Lincoln undermining their personalities, more or less, it's just because they can't sit still for a picture for 5 seconds. Like, that just makes no sense.
But in those cases, and some others, Season 1 has a bad habit of breaking its Aesops. Being the protagonist, the show wants Lincoln to be the lesson learner, but the show tends to create situations.
Yeah, like with most protagonists. That's fair enough.
And circumstances that interfere with the lesson being taught, and oftentimes making Lincoln look like the sympathetic one even when he does something wrong. In Sound of Silence, the Aesop is to not be rude and ignore your siblings, but given how often Lincoln takes time out of his day to help them,
and how they barge into his room without knocking and demand his. Like, I don't know. People say this is a bad episode. Like, some people say this is a bad episode because Lincoln's just ignoring his sisters, but I think the problem is the opposite. Like, they make him out to be the bad guy, even though he's just trying to get some peace and quiet. Like, yeah, okay, I get it. He's ignoring them on purpose, and he's pretending to listen. Like, that was his only mistake was pretending to listen. That's it.
He's treated as in the wrong for simply wanting some alone time to read his comic books. Another good
Oh my gosh, Erica, don't remind me of one of the boys.
Example is Link or Swim. It tries to present Lincoln as being selfish and overly strict with his Paradise for One inflatable pool. However, the episode starts with Lincoln simply wanting to enjoy some pool time, but is unable to due to the sisters.
Because his sisters keep screwing around. So he gets his own pool, his sisters hog it when he's not looking, and somehow they try to paint him as the bad guy. But you know what? In this particular instance, all is well that ends well. The sisters buy their own pool for 10. They still let Lincoln. They still share it with Lincoln. Like, okay, it's a mutual exchange, more or less, emotionally speaking.
Antics getting them kicked out of every public pool in the area. Lincoln suffers to get his pool set up, and not only do his sisters hog it, but he's even kicked out of his own pool.
Although, to be honest, why would you ever want to go to a public pool? Be real, guys.
Paid for, by the way, by Bobby. All of this together ends up making for his frustration and anger understandable. Though at least this one ended on a more positive note.
Yeah.
Overall, the stories the writers go for tend to be more mundane, relatable, down to earth.
Yeah.
Things a lot of kids are
like I've said with the show, like part of its charm at first was just the simplicity of it all.
Likely to deal with, even if most don't have big families. They remain largely confined to the house and are fast-paced 11-minute escapades.
Yeah.
They would occasionally
the energy, the pacing, the simplicity, it's part of what it was part of the charm.
Head to other locations that would become more prominent later on, such as Royal Woods Elementary or Flip's Food and Fuel, but otherwise, the house is the center of the show.
Yeah. What's your point, though?
So altogether, that sums up a typical Season 1 plot. But there's more that would come to give the season, along with early Loud House as a whole, its identity. Granted, as Chris Savino said himself, many different writers
Oh, hey, that shot's from the car interview, actually.
work on many different episodes simultaneously, so some inconsistencies are expected.
That explains a lot, actually. And maybe that's part of the maybe that's the biggest reason why the show's timeline is so inconsistent, as I've said time and again.
But even as the show is figuring itself out, there are elements that tie the season together. Not
Such
only are
as?
the show's plots grounded, but at this point the world was as well. No magic, nothing over the top yet.
No magic, no rockets, no dragons, no ghosts, no nothing.
You would occasionally have stretches of reality, but
Like, okay, sure. The genius girl accidentally made a living trash monster, but it's mostly played for laughs, and he's gone by the end of the episode. Like, it's nothing crazy, and it's just contributing to the whole idea that, okay, they're neglecting their chores, the house is a mess. Like, it's definitely exaggerative in nature to the point where it's not questionable. Know what I mean?
be limited to rare, quick gags and imagination or dream sequences. Like The Simpsons early on, it knew when to snap reality back into place.
Uh-huh.
Alongside the recurring locations that would get introduced this season, we'd also get a lot of one-off locations whenever a plot took Lincoln outside the house. Many of these give off that weird Season 1 early installment weirdness. Places like Lynn Sr.'s
Does it, though?
IT office, Dr. Feinstein's office, the DMV, Grand Venture National Park, even something as simple as a grocery store, given that Flips had become the show's sort of quickie mart if a character needed food later on.
That is true. We'd never do really see that grocery store ever again, do we? Actually, I think we do, but it's not really that common. It's not really common enough anymore.
And this season is just as fond of its one-off characters as we'll cover later.
That we'll never see again.
Going back to the house itself, it's an on and off mess. The place can either be squeaky clean like in later seasons or an absolute pigsty to the point where the house is depicted as practically falling apart. It's part of the premise, but things like food splatters and tire tracks on the wall are practically just a season 1 affair.
Yeah.
The show also loved to break the fourth wall. Earlier we discussed Lincoln's viewer interaction.
I mean, in the opening narrations, I mean, plenty of other shows have done it in the past. The only one I can think of off the top of my head, though, is Malcolm in the Middle, but I'm getting a little carried away.
Instances like Lucy being medium aware and summoning the ending card in Raw Deal. Season 1 would also introduce some staples of the Savino era as a whole. Chris Savino is a huge fan of newspaper comics, so the show itself is styled like the Sunday Funnies.
Yeah.
The backgrounds have a grainy newspaper look with solid colors and inky shading, and the fast-paced cut of some of the gags feel like a panel-for-panel structure. And just as much as it loves to take inspiration from comic strips, it loves to reference them as well. Especially Peanuts.
Really?
Early Loud...
Oh, I didn't even realize. That's that one shot of Charlie in line. Ah, okay, I see what you did there. Okay. If only you weren't a criminal.
Loves...
Savino.
Brown serves as part of the inspiration for Lincoln himself. They even pull the football gag in the loudest yard.
Yeah, that is true. And Lucy's the one who... Oh, my gosh. How did I not catch that until now? Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Season 1 was a gem, man. And I'm not just saying that because of all these Peanuts references. Okay,
with the extra mile
wow.
less, playing a Vince Guaraldi-esque piano version of the theme song as Lincoln runs up.
Oh my god, I totally remember it. The whole da 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 da. Oh my gosh. How did I never peep that until now? Oh gosh.
Up to the ball, and even use a similar running sound effect. The Loud Pets are also named after famous cartoonists.
Wait.
Charles Schultz.
Yeah, okay, Kelly. Charles. Walt Kelly? Who the heck is Walt Kelly? Who the heck is Walt Kelly? I feel like I should know this. And I feel it feels wrong that I don't.
And George G.O. Harriman.
Oh, okay.
As someone who grew up reading a lot of comic strips, especially Peanuts.
Okay, I'm a big fan of Peanuts. As for the rest of them, I cannot identify them for the life of me. Okay, there's Calvin and Hobbes, there's DuckTales. I don't know these two, though.
I applaud this.
Yeah, I'm a little too young. I guess I'm a little too young.
Another staple, perhaps a more controversial one, is the Savino era's love of parental bonuses and demographic inappropriate humor, at least to an extent.
Yeah. When you think about what he did, this did not age well. Like, when you remove all of the behind-the-scenes context, all the controversies behind the scenes, it's still kind of funny, but as I'm not sure what to make of it ever since those allegations popped. I don't know, man.
Bait and switch dirty jokes, and overall ballsier humor had a presence during these seasons.
Like, yeah, during the first 3 seasons or so, like, this show definitely had some guts. Like, y'all remember the end of Potty Mouth where Lily basically dropped an F-bomb? Like, that's when I knew this show definitely had more guts than any other Nickelodeon show I've seen.
Some viewers find this uncomfortable, though this show isn't the
I thought it just definitely didn't feel like it was trying too hard to also entertain the adults watching. Like, I get it.
only one to do things like this. Plenty of shows are beloved for their
Like, yeah, Nitro, most of them, I do not recognize them for the life of me, except for Peanuts.
past-the-radar humor, but the show would eventually outgrow this either way. If Simpsons Season 13 loves its dick jokes, and its Season 3 loves boobs, then this season forms a trifecta with it. This is the season of butts. Whether they're trying to be more ballsy humor or intended to be silly and juvenile isn't known, but either way, there is a lot of booty shaking.
I guess there is one too many. Yeah, there is one too many butt jokes, I guess.
All of it played for laughs, of course.
But at the very least, it's portrayed innocently, but I'm not sure what to make of it in good conscience, to be honest.
Now, to round out our characters, and this being the first season, there's a lot to talk about. Starting things off, we have Lincoln, our man with the plan. He's a pretty normal kid who is often shown as the voice of reason in the Loud House, an intelligent kid often trying to hold things together. He's both a leader and a strategist, hence his nickname, and he's also a sort of jack of all trades.
Really reminds me of Robin from Fire Emblem Awakening. Part of the reason I'm kind of attached to the character, because I love both. And Robin was my main in Smash Bros. Back in the day.
He's often the one moving the plot forward, and even if things don't go as planned, he knows how to adapt and turn things to his advantage, or help others. His resourcefulness frequently comes in handy, and while he can be selfish sometimes and get overconfident, and who isn't, he's always willing to make things right, and will even take the fall to protect others. Compared to his siblings, his interests are
And he usually takes that fall because either A, he loves his sisters, B, he loves the sister in question, B, it's usually the right thing to do and it adds up in the narrative, or C, both.
A little more typical and less archetypal. He loves comedy.
I remember when I read Peanuts strips from 1950 to 2000, so I definitely appreciate the Peanuts references. Yeah, okay, I wasn't born in the 1950s, but I did watch a lot of the Peanuts specials growing up, more or less. So yeah, I can definitely appreciate it. Now, we like a little spice in entertainment, since we're now living at a time where they overly sanitize stuff. Yeah. Why is it that the people who are the most ambitious with their sense of humor, especially in kids shows, just turn out to be creeps? Dan Schneider, Chris Savino, the creator of Ren and Stimpy, whatever his name was. Like, is it impossible to be a little outlandish and also be a good person? I don't know, man.
His favorite superhero, Ace Savvy, along with movies, ghost hunting.
Pixel. It would probably, I would say it'd be Cordelia. A girl so kind and so humble that she doesn't realize that she's being too humble for her own good. That basically is Stella. Yo, I don't know if I got any artists in my chat, but can somebody draw Lincoln and Stella cosplaying Robin and Cordelia? Like, I don't know. And yeah, Cordelia was my S rank in Fire Emblem Awakening. So it makes even, oh my gosh. Okay, all the more reason I love these two, man. Cordelia's best Awakening girl. There, I said it.
And all sorts of other typically nerdy things. How is peers view him this season?
You know what? Maybe that's why I like Stella so much, because she also, Lincoln reminds me of Robin, and Stella reminds me of Cordelia, and I did S rank Cordelia in my Awakening playthrough. So, oh my gosh, what are the odds, man?
Season is interesting. Like a lot of cartoon protagonists, including his inspiration, Charlie Brown, he's generally not treated too kindly by his peers, especially so in this season. He's put in some embarrassing situations that even his own siblings are willing to mock him for. It all makes him seem like one of the school's losers. But despite this, he has his circle of friends.
He has friends. He's still above average. His grades are still above average. He's a normal kid, and I can respect that.
And adults seem quite fond of him as well. He's learned to develop a thick skin and thus shows a lot of maturity as a result. He also mentioned that he's not really the performing type in funny business. Boy, do things change.
Yeah. not necessarily for the worse. Like, his whole shtick with the magic tricks, it's not too bad. Honestly, at this rate, it feels kind of neglected.
Now, when it comes to Season 1, the general case for the sisters is interesting. Early on, they were often used as a unified antagonistic force for Lincoln to overcome, oftentimes taking on a meaner streak regardless of base personality.
There were times where they did have their individual plot lines, though. Even in Season 1, from what I remember. Like, Lenny learning how to drive, Lana filling in for Lola at the pageant. That whole episode where they try to find out who clogged the toilet. He tried to find out who clogged the toilet with Lucy. Okay.
They were also more antagonistic toward each other, and somewhat more prone to violence. You see a lot of sibling fight clouds this season, and a lot of petty sibling disagreements. They have their selfish moments as well, just like Lincoln does. Don't think that they're being altruistic and kind here. In context, they're bribing him for their own benefit.
Yeah.
They even have their moments of blatant hypocrisy toward Lincoln. Lana mocks Lincoln for eating peanut butter and sauerkraut sandwiches when she regularly eats trash and expired food.
Yeah, that's where you draw the line, girl.
And even sewer sludge at one point.
Yeah, her whole birthday party, she wanted the theme of her birthday party to be literal trash. Like, girl, you are in no place to judge someone for eating sauerkraut with peanut butter. It's still disgusting, but you are in no place to talk. Like, seriously, sit this one out.
Luann mocks Lincoln's A Savvy costume alongside her sisters, citing it as looking ridiculous, when she herself...
Even though she literally dresses... Yeah, okay, there is a couple inconsistencies there. I can agree with that.
Proud clown who dresses up in gaudy outfits for her party performances.
I mean, to be fair, though, she's doing it for children, not to go to a convention. She's doing it and she's getting paid. She's not doing it because she more or less thinks it's fun.
Even Lisa, who cites Lincoln's comics in his underwear habit as gross and unsanitary, when she proudly and obsessively studies, well, crap.
Literally
Lincoln
crap.
even calls her out on this. Thankfully, though, they start to mellow out as the season progresses, having
I guess because there's no scientific value in just posing in your... Oh, can I even say that without getting demonetized?
bonding moments with Lincoln and working together much more often. We get to know some of them much better, and it really humanizes them. It's also
because creeps are just weird better, are just wired better when it comes to entertainment. So yeah, if you're normal, you're not meant for it. I guess, Aura. I guess.
so notable that because the sisters are mostly out of focus, this shaped how the show handled their designs and personalities. While Lincoln is the title character and can take things slow and relaxed, each sister has limited screen time at this point, and thus is given an archetype to allow for an easy and direct viewer impact whenever they appear. As a result, at least the sisters sort of doing their bit, or expected gimmick in group situations.
Yeah.
This leads to a lot of antics,
Even then, though, especially after watching more than just the first season, like every one of these girls has a believable personality. But you know what? I'm gonna let him talk before I finish.
In public places, which often makes Lincoln look much more mature, even more so than the older sisters.
Yeah, that is something that is a little distracting to say the least. Like the 11-year-old boy behaving more maturely than this 16-year-old, 15-year-old, 17-year-old. That is a little unrealistic. I will give it that.
Starting with our oldest, Lori Loud started out as the typical mean older sister. She's perpetually tied to her phone and has an aggressive temper, barking out threats and earning even the fear of the other older siblings. She's manipulative and stern, but sees it as necessary to keep the house under control, even if she doesn't always do her job. She's even willing to sabotage her sister's driving lessons in order to assure that everyone is still dependent on her for rides, in exchange for favors too. But she's by far changed the most this season out of any sibling.
Yeah, she's definitely... I can't entirely give credit to some form of character development, but yeah, Lori definitely mellows out more in that snobby attitude as the season goes on. With a few exceptions, but you know what? She more or less gets pushed in that direction, more or less, by the narrative. Not by the writers making stuff up, more or less by the narrative.
She has a big heart and becomes a much kinder person by the season's end.
Yeah.
She even receives an episode told from mostly her perspective, which shows a much more emotional side to her. Lenny's the resident fashion expert and airhead of the family. She's rather incompetent at most things and tends to take things...
Hold on. Let me see that shot again.
Fashion expert and airhead of the family. She's rather incompetent...
The fact that she's fallen over with a smile on her face. I'm sorry. This is funny. I don't even remember the context, but I don't need it for this to be funny. Just look at her.
At most things and tends to take things very literally. But she also has a kind heart just like her brother and is always willing to help others. She has moments of brilliance, but hasn't yet...
Okay, I will say this, though. In that one episode where they all got sick, and she's like, oh, you should sympathize with them. They're sick. Like, if you're trying to allegorize a zombie apocalypse, it just doesn't make any sense.
Gained her confidence and is mostly played for comedy. She could pick locks though, which is super cool.
Okay.
Luna's the resident rock star and one of the most fleshed out right out of the gate.
Yeah, more or
Tendencies
less.
are in full swing, and she peppered her speech with musical references and titles. Another staple
Yeah.
of the Savino era. She gets the most focus.
Yeah, did they ever do that after Savino left? Like, making Luna quote iconic rock music?
This season outside of Lincoln himself, having both a bonding episode.
I don't believe they have, come to think of it.
With him where we learn about the experience that made her a rock star, and an episode told from her perspective, where she guides her family's county fair band act, and even meets her idol, Mick Swagger. She doesn't have her band yet, but she's already the Luna we all
Honestly, I don't think she ever needed the band. Like, most of the time, it never really contributed to her character, especially Sam, but I've said enough about that.
know and love. Luann's the resident jokester, and probably the sister hit the hardest by the doing their bit mentality. She does have a couple of important episodes, one being a bonding episode with Lincoln about her special entertainment business, and another being the first in a series of controversial April Fool's Day episodes.
Yep. Like I've said before, the first one, it could have been worse, but the rest of them, yikes.
But outside of those moments of focus, pretty much all of her lines are simply her making a pun to the chagrin of her siblings. She has a heart, but right now, it's mostly just punchlines. Lynn Jr., oddly enough, is much more pleasant and fun this season. She's
Initially, but we know how that played out.
very happy and sporty, and loves training Lincoln to be stronger, with mixed results, from football to parkour. She hasn't yet developed the mean streak that she'd become infamous for in the very next season.
Like, yeah, honestly, like, it even shows in her voice acting in the first season. Like, her tone is definitely a lot lighter. I don't know if it's a different voice actors altogether or different voice direction, but it definitely shows. Like, her voice acting, her mannerisms, just her behavior in general. It's definitely a lot less egregious in the first season.
Lucy started out pretty simple, being a goth girl that loves poetry and has a dark sense of humor at times. Her love of vampires and the like was always there, but there was
Erica, I don't know if that's a reference to something, but I don't get it.
no magic or mortician's club yet. She does
I wish there never was.
attempt to and fail to summon a spirit, and she does have a fortune-telling deck of cards, but both instances are non-magical in nature. She was willing to get in on the kid antics a little more. Even Lisa couldn't resist this food fight. But for the most part, she tends to be mistakenly forgotten, and often simply pops up to scare someone.
Yeah, that's kind of a running gag. Like, she knows it's kind of part of the joke to more or less be forgotten in the moment.
She has a bonding episode with Lincoln, and he ultimately takes the fall for her to keep her love of Princess Pony a secret. But her secret
Like, again, Lincoln bites the bullet either out of love for the sister in question or it was the right thing to do. But in this case, it was just because he loves her. He wanted to spare her from getting teased.
love of cute things would sadly be limited to this episode. And outside of a couple moments later on...
Yeah, come to think of it, it never does get addressed again, does it? We never see Lucy liking Princess Pony ever again, do we?
This would be the only bonding episode these two siblings would get. Lana is Lana. Early in the season, she's seen having frequent twin rivalry moments with Lola, but otherwise, she resembles the familiar Lana of today already.
Yeah.
Her love of gross things and animals is there, along with her skills as a plumber. She even gets a bonding episode with Lincoln, where the two disguise her as Lola.
Where have I heard this music before? Da, 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 da. That's from Wii Sports, isn't it?
To win some Dairyland tickets. And Lola is another interesting case.
Yep, best loud sister, don't at me.
She's often seen by outsiders as the typical bratty princess that everyone is
Which is really saying something, because initially she just reminded me of Angelica Pickles, and I hate Angelica Pickles, but she definitely stands out on her own.
afraid of. This still certainly hasn't helped in that regard, but it's only partially true. Even early on, Lola's shown to have a warm heart, and starts to show notable acts of kindness toward her siblings.
She may be bratty and pompous, but hey, she's still perfectly capable of building a conscience organically.
When Lincoln barely loses a bet to her and her sisters, she calls it off and buys him the victory undies he wanted. She's also a known tattler, which is actually addressed in A Tattler's Tale, where her siblings distrust her and leave her out of their secrets club, and after taking advantage of learning said Stigas through a microphone, she takes the fall for all of them to gain their trust again. Granted, she still has some nasty moments. She seems all too eager to run over Lincoln's leg here, and her fellow pageant performers are definitely...
Okay, I feel like they only gave her that expression just to just for the comedic value, if there was any, because honestly, I don't think there was any, but I get what they were going for, and it's not too consequential.
Afraid of her this season, but she loves her family and would only continue to mellow out going forward. Lisa, the resident kid genius, is another odd case. She doesn't get much focus and is generally reserved for science gags. This season gives her a general lack of humanity, given how rude she can be to her siblings and how she's willing to endanger anyone.
Yeah, to be honest, she doesn't really get fleshed out emotionally until season 2. Really, until that one episode with Darcy.
And everyone in her experiment.
All the more reason I really like it, but we're not here for that right now.
Without a second thought. She even gets an episode where you think she's gaining some more humanity as her siblings try to get her to enjoy snow days. Only for it to be a plot by her to get her siblings to hate snow days.
I mean, to be fair, it did show that she can be... that socially she can be a little more perceptive than she lets on. Which I could respect at first, but it's definitely... this is definitely the one sister you need to be a little patient with, because she definitely does get fleshed out later on. Like I said, friend or foe, still her best episode, even to this day.
Instead, a twist that wasn't too popular. Still, despite this, she...
Like, I don't know about you guys, but I thought that twist was really clever.
does genuinely show a different side in a few instances. And rounding out the siblings, we have Lily.
Aww, I love the shot of her with her blanket. Look at her. Look at the little potato.
The baby of the family. She, well, does baby things.
She's a baby. I mean, what do you expect, my guy?
Which includes her running gag of crapping herself. That's pretty much it. Her personality wasn't there yet.
Not yet.
Our last member of the main cast is Clyde, Lincoln's best friend and right-hand man. He performs his role well as an outside observer of the Loud family, and doesn't get much development beyond that, but we still learn more about him.
I don't know. He's understanding, he's open to new ideas, like, it shows. He's an only child, and when he has a sleepover with Lincoln, he can't help himself from bonding with his sisters. Like, there's definitely some subtext I think people should work off of, to say the least.
His love of cooking is already starting to show.
And yeah, he's a good baker. Like, I don't know. Like, as the seasons go on, he definitely does feel more fleshed out. Like, organically, without a lot of focus on him here and there.
And we get to meet his parents as well, revealing that he is an only child in contrast to Lincoln. We also get to see how overprotective they are of him.
Yeah.
At the same time, the attention they're willing to give. He also...
Yeah, very doting, very overprotective, but sometimes it feels like the McBrides, the two McBrides, the parents, not Clyde. It feels like they have the exact same personality. And I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I don't know. It's definitely a little flimsy. Like, when you compare them to Lynn and Rita, they definitely feel a little lacking. That's just me, though.
Also has his running gag, that being his intense crush on Lori, which often makes him pass out or get a nosebleed. Though I do...
Which apparently they forgot ever existed, or they just... I don't know, man. I've really got to ask. If I ever get to speak to one of these writers, I got to ask, did they just forget about his crush on Lori, or did they just abandon it altogether? On purpose. Like, ever since they introduced that whole ordeal with Emma and Chloe. Like, I would understand if it's the latter. I would totally understand either way.
I want to clear up a common misconception here. I've seen this thumbnail floating around a lot. Lori and Clyde are not in any kind of relationship.
Yeah.
It's mostly one-sided outside of a couple of gags, and the moment in the thumbnail takes place in Clyde's imagination. Here's how that moment...
Yeah, where is that thumbnail even from? I've seen it before, but
actually,
it's definitely out of context.
Lynn Sr. and Rita Loud, Lincoln's parents, wouldn't become main characters yet. During this season, their faces are, unlike other adults on the show, always obscured like you'd see in a lot of kids' cartoons back in the day. Generally, they were used only if a parental figure was needed, but the presence on the show only continued to grow as the season progressed. They were generally stricter and much more willing to put their feet down. When Senior works as a computer technician and Rita as a dental assistant, though we'd still see the earliest hints at their dream occupations they received down the line, Rita's getting a focused episode.
Like, honestly, I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like, okay, sure. Lynn Sr. opens his own restaurant. Rita becomes a writer writes a column for the local newspaper. But at the same time, can I trust that they're still they could still be financially stable for their family of 11? Like, they definitely gave them the right amount of time, but I don't know. Like, there's definitely going to be a big gap between their a big contrast in the size of their salaries from before and now. Like, they start off as a dental assistant and an IT worker. Like, I don't know. I guess it depends on how successful the restaurant is, but can being a column writer really pay that much? I don't know.
Even. Interestingly, despite being faceless, we do catch glimpses of their heads on many occasions.
Yeah.
So their designs were planned.
Like, yeah, the hair, the back of their heads, their eyes, their mouths. We've seen it all, so I understand why they eventually revered their faces completely. Like, I get it.
Out already, even if they weren't being used yet. Alongside our main cast, we'd get introduced to much of our supporting cast this season, some falling by the wayside while others would grow to become major.
Yeah, we never do see... I don't think we ever... After, like, what, season 2? I don't think we ever see Dr. the Dentist ever again, now that I think about it.
This season, some falling by the wayside while others would grow to become major characters.
Oh my gosh, I wish that did not apply to Flip, but here we are.
This feels odd to say, but the loud pets are featured much more often, either as simple background elements to give the house more life, or even as little plot points to help move things along. They reacted to things
They definitely do feel neglected, though, I will say that, even today.
But were generally much more animalistic. They had yet to receive the anthropomorphic traits that most animals on the show would get later on. Mr. Grouse, the Loud's cranky neighbor, makes a few appearances, mostly just to heckle the Louds or react to some of the insanity. Flip's the stingy owner of Flip's Food and Fuel, a convenience store and gas station where the cast often...
Like, I'm sorry, okay, I will say this. How is it that out of all the side characters you introduced in Season 1, this is the one they went with to give some semblance of prominence? Really? This was one of their best choices? Like, it's still very baffling that he's still a relevant enough side character, even today. Ridiculous. Like, this character sucks. Like I've said once, and I'll say it once. I said it once, and I'll say it again. He's just Mr. Krabs, except he's not funny.
Goes for snacks and stuff. He's typically seen selling his famous Flippies, and is already...
Like, I get it. He's greedy, he's slimy, you can only do so much with this character, and whatever you did, it wasn't good anyways. Can we just scrap him and move on? He did not need as much screen time as he does.
Shown to be a stingy schemer, but is mostly just used for cameos and one-liners at this point in the show. He didn't even have his red shirt yet. We get the first appearance of an extended member of the Loud family, Rita's father, Albert.
Okay, I will say this, though. Pop, it might be owed to the fact that his voice actor passed away a while back, but he definitely gave a very memorable performance. Like, Fred Willard here and in the Boondocks, like, Fred Willard definitely delivered in his voice work. I'll say that much.
Affectionately known as Pop.
May he rest in peace.
Pop by the Loud children. He doesn't quite have his personality yet, and he is even shown to have bad eyesight without his glasses, though neither of these would last.
I mean, what more can you expect, to be honest?
We get introduced to the members of...
Like, the whole point, like, in a cast this big, there's bound to be a couple side characters who get the short end of the stick, or at the very... And if anything, at the very least, they do get fleshed out later. Like, you can only do so much in the span of one season with a main cast that's that big.
Lincoln's friend group, though mostly relegated to the occasional school episode. Zach and Liam both make their first appearance in Overnight Success, with their personalities intact.
Surprisingly, an episode written by Kevin Sullivan that's actually not that bad. I'll say that much.
Rusty, however, is an interesting case. He first appears in Hand Me Downer as the member of a biker gang Lincoln befriends, but they ultimately shun him when he loses the bike Lynn eventually passed down to him. However, episodes like Lincoln Loud Girl Guru and Dance Dance Resolution show him as a core part of Lincoln's friend group.
Yeah. One moment, Rusty's screwing around with all these other unnamed NPCs, and the next, he's actually back with Lincoln's clique. Like, okay. Another inconsistency with the world building, but hey, what are you gonna do?
Fondly. But then, in The Price of Admission, he's back with his biker buddies again, and Lincoln talks about him as someone
like,
more
bro,
distant.
make up your... okay, I know Rusty's a bit of a faker, but come on, bro, make up your mind. Who are your real friends, dude?
Even downright insulting him. It seems that the writers weren't quite sure what to do with him yet.
Yeah, it honestly says a lot. It says a lot when you're... Like I've said once, like I've said before, the biggest problem with the show in general, it's that it's just unprincipled. It just doesn't commit. It just doesn't commit to the right ideas. And when it does, it just... You know what? I'll let him finish.
These guys would become major characters in later seasons, but for now, most Friend episodes stick with just Lincoln and Clyde.
Yeah.
Outside of Lincoln's sphere, The only sibling friend that would be introduced this season is Haiku, another goth girl and aspiring poet that's one of Lucy's friends. She served as one of the arranged dates in Dance Dance Resolution, and
That's really the only time we see her.
is the only one of that group to become recurring. Interestingly, the dance was for 5th graders, but when she reappears and out of the picture, she's aged down to being a 3rd grader like Lucy. She has a dance
Wait,
with
really?
Clyde,
Hold
appears
on.
and out of the
This is a season 2. Is her whole Morticians Club just 3rd graders? Isn't she supposed to? I don't know, man. Again, another inconsistency in the timeline, I guess.
She's aged down to being a 3rd grader like Lucy. She has a dance with Clyde, but that's about as far as the interactions go. Bringing things to Royal Woods Elementary, we get our first glimpse of Agnes Johnson, Lincoln's homeroom teacher and the go-to teacher character in most school scenarios.
Until season 5, but
She's implied to be lonely both in general and romantically, given that she holds a raffle where the prize is having lunch with
like I will say it was nice to see her in like season 8 again in that one episode about that one episode that where Lola's just getting gossip. Like, okay, it's nice that they haven't forgotten about the character entirely, but at the same time,
with her in the teacher's lounge.
I don't know.
She's even implied to have a wild side, as she breaks her leg in a mechanical bull incident and describes herself as being let out of her cage on weekends. She's even among the crowd that's shown to have seen The Harvester, implying that she loves horror films. She's pretty much a G-rated Edna Krabappel, though one that still very much loves her students. And for the last of our reoccurring round...
You know what? That's a really nice way of putting it. She basically is a G-rated Edna Krabappel, except that she's actually likable.
We have the 2 Santiago siblings.
Oh boy.
You know Ronnie Ann from her spin-off, The Casa Grandes.
Do we though? I mean, that is the last place you want to look if you want any semblance of character development for Ronnie Ann. I'm telling you that much, my guy.
But this was the only full season where she lived in Royal Woods with the rest of the characters.
Yep.
Her presence on the show in general is rather limited, only playing an off-screen role in Heavy Metal and 2 major appearances in season...
Like, to be honest, the character herself, I don't dislike it. Like, I understand what she did and why she did it. It's just everyone else's reaction to it. Like Lori forcing Lincoln to go on a date with her. Like that's really where the dynamic definitely, the writing definitely gets it all wrong when it comes to the character dynamics.
And one thereafter. Lincoln has a crush on her initially.
No, he doesn't.
Despite her abuse, but the 2 resolve to just being
like he's humoring her crush on him, seemingly. That's really all we know, though.
Friends, regardless of all the shipping fan art you might see.
Yeah.
The writers seem to be going for a Helga Pataki type of character too.
Yeah, and it did not work for her either, man. So I don't know what these writers were going for.
Mixed results.
Sure, the one time they take pointers from Nickelodeon and they pick the worst love interest that they have.
Either way, her role in the show is much more minor than one would expect, giving her starring role in the spin-off. And if any Santiago had a real presence on the show before the move, it
was
would
Bobby.
actually be Bobby. He's Ronnie Ann's older brother and Lori's boyfriend, one who she obsesses over. He's mentioned frequently throughout Season 1 and finally makes a proper appearance in Undue Pressure. He often appears in different...
Fun fact, guys. Ronnie Ann was originally drafted as a white-skinned redhead. But then, when Undue Pressure got published, the developers were basically like, oh, wait, we made Bobby Mexican. And Ronnie Ann's supposed to be a sister. We got to make her Mexican, too. That's literally how it happened. I'm not kidding. Look up that Q&A with Chris Savino in the car. That's basically what he said. I'm not kidding, guys.
Different kinds of part-time jobs and is shown to be a bit of a klutz while working.
Yeah.
He also gets a focused episode alongside Lori, playing the role of an older brother to Lincoln and bonding with him to a great degree.
Pretty much the only time we see them bond, which is honestly kind of sad.
He even got his own official plush toy in the Toy Factory set,
really?
like his sister.
Out of all the characters, they only went with... Hold on.
He even got his own official plush toy in the Toy Factory set.
Obviously Lincoln, but... Really? Clyde and Bobby? Not the other sisters? That's crazy, bro. That's wild.
Unlike his sister. And alongside the introduction of much of the supporting cast, this season also loves its one-off characters.
Yeah.
The other dates in Dance Dance Resolution, the Small Cop, a bratty doppelganger to Lincoln, Rusty's Bike Gang, even if they do make a couple of cameo appearances outside their introduction, and much, much more. But 2 examples in particular stand out. First is Dr. Feinstein, Rita's boss and the family dentist. He gets a major role in the novel idea and is frequently mentioned.
Not really major. They're just hanging out at his office, but he has little to nothing to do with the rest of the plot.
Throughout the Savino era, but outside of a cameo in season 2, this is his only appearance.
Yeah, really not that
With
relevant.
dentistry, he could have easily become a major supporting character, but looked like we don't live in the Feinstein timeline. The other example, a much more well-known one, would be Maggie, an emo girl from.
Oh my gosh! Don't get me started. The character in the show, it's fine. But whatever the heck the fandom has done with her, I want nothing to do with it. It's ridiculous.
Funny business and probably the most popular one-off character on the show.
Why?
She gets a lot of fan
Just
art.
why?
I mean a lot. I even have
Why? Just why? She's just a run-of-the-mill goth teenage girl. Okay, wait, I forgot what fandom I'm dealing with. Okay, that makes sense.
Had a few newcomers ask me if she was a major
Freaking weirdos.
character. We see a few of Maggie's friends used as extras in Frenzy a couple of seasons later, but Maggie.
Wait, did they straight up just reuse the same? Okay.
We see a few of
I
Maggie's
mean,
friends
it's not a detail I should be paying much attention to, but that's still a detail.
used as extras in Frenzy a couple of seasons later, but Maggie herself has yet to return to the show in any form.
Good freaking riddance. I'm sick. I hate all this fan art where they ship her with Luann. It makes no freaking sense. Like, why? Why? What even spawned this? It's not that I'm against it. It's just that it makes no freaking sense.
Well, that was a bit of a marathon, and I apologize for being so long-winded there, but with
Yeah, okay. I will say this guy though. I get what he's going for, but how do I word this? My only nitpick with this video, these kinds of videos, it's just that I don't know, the pacing. It definitely feels like the kind of video I would listen to just in the background, where I'm not looking at the video itself. Definitely something you would watch in the background, not something I would pay attention to devotedly like I am here. I mean, I still enjoyed it for what it is, but it's not. I feel like it's not something I should be watching on stream because it's definitely like just his soft voice and the background music. I feel like if I wasn't being focused, he would definitely lose my attention very easily. No one tell Icy about Raven from Teen Titans. What about Raven? Isn't the general consensus that they ship her with Beast Boy? I don't know, man. You know what? Tails, don't answer that.
so much setup this season, it was definitely necessary, especially for newcomers. But before we wrap up, I want
most of the season is solid as a one-off. Like, yeah, Tunchi was kind of onto something.
to touch on one more quick thing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it, Erica. Just that one appearance in the episode. She never even has a single direct interaction with Luann. So what gives? Why is the term Luagi an actual term that I can Google search and get results out of in this context? Like, again, it just doesn't make any sense. It's ridiculous.
The show that really balances things out, and it is exemplified best in the episode Homespun.
Yeah, this is one of those shows where it definitely needs more than one season to flesh out its characters. And I don't know if it's problematic, but if they had actually kept up the momentum from, like I said, the best episode in the series, White Hair, like we could have had 3 mostly above average, an above average series of just 3 seasons. But no, we're in season 9. It's dragged out a lot more than what it's had to, and here we are.
The premise is that a huge storm is due to hit Royal Woods, and that the state of the house is not the best. The Loud siblings gather in the basement and tell little stories about their positive memories of the house and how
A very good episode from season 1. Not my favorite, but it's definitely a really good one.
love it. No petty conflicts, no negativity, no fighting, just pure sibling
Just
bonding
them appreciating what they have. All 11 of them and their home.
and sticking together. And ultimately,
At the end of the day, it's like I've said sometimes in my videos. That's what's at the heart of the show. A bigger than most, happy, united family. Plain and simple.
that's the heart and soul of the show. We all love the wacky antics, but despite all the trouble they give each other, they love each other very much.
And most of the time it's earned, at least in the early seasons.
And that is always important to keep in mind. And with the house surviving the ordeal, I can't think of a better way to end
All the more reason I really dislike one of the boys, because it basically abandons all those principles. But anyways.
off season 1. And there you have it. The Loud House at its most basal, purest form, still setting things up and finding its footing.
Yeah.
Much of it is familiar, but a lot of it feels weird looking back. so I hope I made a good first attempt at a retrospective and did the season justice. Let me know how I did, what you liked and what could be improved. And do you want to see me tackle Season 2? Anyway?
Seems like you did anyways, my guy. How old is this video? Hold on. Okay, this is from September of last year. Okay, it's about a year and 2 months, so... Okay. Huh. For the most part, he did cover up all the ideas well enough, but... rather than just a summary, I want to hear his takes on it. Like, I don't know. If the summary felt a little too cursory, like he basically just summed up what happened and who are the characters, and not any interactions between them and whatnot. It's just telling us what happened here, what happened there, but I don't know. Like I said, the summary felt a little too cursory, and to be honest, I feel like you could do this. You did not need 26 minutes to cover up this whole season, to talk about what you talked about, more or less. I don't know. That's just me, though. It could be a little more concise, but... I'm not sure what else I can say, guys, but you know what? It's a very entertaining watch. I could definitely watch these videos, like I said, in the background while I'm doing work and whatnot, so... yeah, solid. I'll give him a like. Why not? And maybe in the future, if you guys are down, but I don't know. Since I started watching, view counts did go down a little bit, guys. We were at like 21 viewers before we started watching, and now we're at 15. So, I don't know, guys. If y'all are down to watch Season 2 next time and whatnot, then I'm totally down. But I'm about to wrap things up, guys, just because, I don't know, I'm kind of in the mood to just play Legend CA off screen, to say the least. But quick question before I go. Would y'all be down for me to set up a Discord server? Genuine question. Because I feel like streaming on the weekends, as far as content is concerned and keeping you guys updated, I feel like just streaming on weekends and making the occasional community post isn't enough. I feel like people will be more involved in this community if I actually start a Discord server and whatnot. So if I were to make one, answer just sure or whatever. Would you guys be down? Would you guys actually join and be relatively involved in it? I don't know. You don't have to answer right now, guys. It's just something to think about. I'm not going to make it immediately. That's just something that's been weighing on my mind. But with that being said, I think I'm gonna head on out, guys, because yeah, we've been at it for about 3.5 hours. I might be expecting some guests later, so I have to wrap things up anyways. So that's gonna be it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. As always, if your heart so desires, hit that like button. Actually, please do hit that like button if you're enjoying yourselves, and subscribe to the channel. I will hopefully be back tomorrow at around the same time, but if something comes up, I'll try to keep you guys updated in community posts and whatnot. Will I trust the people in the Discord? I've seen a lot of people get doxxed on there and a whole bunch of leaks. As long as there isn't any drama or cheese pizza lovers, don't worry, Erica. I'll deal with the brain rot. I'll deal with the brain slop accordingly. Is that what it's called? Brain rot, brain slop? I'll definitely do my best to moderate it, and I don't expect too many people to join to the point where I can't manage it on my own, at least for now. So yeah, we'll see how things go tomorrow, and then maybe I'll make the server on stream, guys, just to see what people are into, see what channels I need to make and whatnot. We'll see. But with that being said, guys, I'm gonna head on out of here. Thank you guys so much for sticking. Okay, I already gave the outro, but you know what? Screw it. I may as well. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. As always, if your heart so desires, hit that subscribe button and follow me on Twitter for updates. And maybe join the Discord whenever it comes up. But yeah, I should be back tomorrow around the same time. We'll watch another Toonchi video, and I'll see what else we can do. So with that being said, once again, I'm Siba signing out. Take care, guys. Bye.